Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to our doubleheader presentation of Charlevoix Raider basketball this evening with Next Level Broadcasting. I'm Shane Smith, joined alongside of me by Eric Huffman. Charles Strail, the three-headed monster here, bringing this one to you live from the house that Haskey built. We'll get into our starting lineups for Harbor Springs. First off, a sophomore, number 1, Steffi Reskovics. A freshman, number 2, Lillian McShannock. Coming up next, number 21, junior Sophie Barnadin. Number 24, another freshman, McKenna Gray. And last but not least, the senior, the star senior, number 33, Olivia Flynn.
Yeah, definitely the one you want to keep your eye on throughout the night. Already committed. I think it's to Western, if I'm not mistaken. Should be All-State again tonight. They'll be definitely one to keep your eye on throughout the night tonight.
No doubt. Now for the hometown Raiders, number 3, Hannah Miller. She's a junior. Coming up next, senior, number 10, Emma Meadows. Sophomore, number 15, Ayla Kemp. Freshman, number 21, Maggie Schaefer. And rounding out the starting 5 for your Raiders, senior, number 32, Sarah Waglandowski.
For the Raiders, the one game that we saw, I believe it was the Alcona game, which was a win by the Lady Raiders. Player that I like coming out of that game, and the one I'll keep my eye on for Charlevoix tonight, would be Maggie Schaefer. She got engaged. You can see the look in her eyes that she had the intensity to help fuel that victory over Alcona that night. And I know it's been a while since we've seen them play, but hopefully she's still got that same fire and sets an example for the team, and they have a nice outing here tonight against the high-powered Harbor Springs Rams.
Yeah, Harbor Springs comes into this one with a 9-2 record. Charlevoix with a 2-win season so far, but they've been finding their way throughout the course of the season so far. Both teams, especially Harbor Springs, with a younger squad centered around Olivia Flynn. Charlevoix, the only senior out there on the floor to begin on this starting 5, is Sarah Waglandowski. So with that, Harbor Springs gets the tip off, and the opening shot by Flynn rattles around, goes away. And we got it bouncing around here, picked up eventually by Emma Meadows for the Raiders, and we'll have it back.
Yeah, good job securing that ball. Be patient. Make sure you find on a guard. Don't need a quick turnover down at the other end of the floor as we get looks like a jump ball down here.
Yep, it'll be favoring Charlevoix. So nearly had that turnover you were just talking about. Thankfully, the possession arrow started out with the Raiders to begin here, as we'll have Emma Meadows taking care of the inbound duties, getting this one off to Ayla Kemp. Miller shoves that one over to Schaefer. She worked her way to the baseline, thought better of it, back to Miller.
Yeah, it looked like she was looking for a little two-man game, a little pick and roll, but it didn't quite connect at that time, so she turned around and tried to regroup.
We'll have a Ram here, last touching the ball. So the Raiders taking things back over. 7:23 here in the first period. Almost 45 seconds have gone by, no score yet. Miller gets that one off to Schaefer. Bit of a slow start to this one, folks. Everyone's settling their way in.
Well, and Charlevoix's you want to be patient. You don't want to get Harbor into their running game because they will score early and often if you let them run. So patience on offense. Try to find the right shot.
It'll be Schaefer working her way into the paint there. Let that one go at the free throw line. That'll be bounced off the glass, no good. Back the other way. Good takeaway, though, by the Raiders. The first one to get her hand on it there was Hannah Miller.
Yeah, good job by Miller. Getting turned around, got down there, turned around, could see the ball coming, able to get a hand on it.
This time it'll be Waglandowski
nice
trying to make one off the glass, draws the foul.
So far, the Raiders' game plan here vastly different from what we saw up at Harbor Springs earlier on when these two teams played up in Emmett County. I mean, they got down early in that game, and there just wasn't enough juice and gas left in the tank to mount a comeback or sustain that level of intensity to make a comeback. And right here, the Raiders need to come out strong, need to get a nice sense of security here with their game plan. See a couple shots go in early, maybe get to the free throw line as well.
Yeah, and you don't want to have Flynn see some go in because her range is pretty much anywhere on the court.
Waglowski missed both of those free throws. McKenna Bray was the guilty party there for the Rams. And the Raiders will be picking up their first foul of the game. Fouling on Maggie Schaefer.
As Charles is hooking my microphone around his shoe. Apparently he wanted to keep me close by to him tonight.
Got to keep you at arm's length away.
Lillian McShannock here at the line gets the game's first point here. A minute and a half into this one.
Yeah, I'm only 5'7", so I'm not too far away no matter what.
And there you go.
So 0 for 2 on one end, 2 for 2 on the other.
Yep, 2-0 game. Schaefer to Miller. She works her way along the
and
sideline.
Good patience with the full court. Not like a press, just showing you some man-to-man, try to make you feel uncomfortable.
Waglowski on the rebound. Fortunately, she was a bit too far into the basket, not able to get that one to connect. So we'll go back up court all the way to Sophie Barnadin. We got another takeaway with the Raiders.
Yeah, good job by Schaefer.
And just like that, a little bit too much steam there behind her as the Rams get it back. Sophie Reskovics there.
Again, as this team ages, all that will get better through time. She'll be able to keep that dribble under control at a higher speed and be able to attack the basket because she did have a Ram out of position.
Ayla Kemp gets the steal, brings it all the way down to the other end of the floor. Not able to connect there on the layup. Back over to Waglowski from the elbow. That one falls off the iron.
Yeah, in a game like this, too, any missed puppies are going to be crucial tonight as we get another foul just out of position and threw a hand in there.
Tough start here for the Raiders. 0 for 2 for the free throw line, about 0 for 5 from the field. As Charlevoix picks up their second foul, this one falling on Ayla Kemp, her first. Flynn taking the inbound pass, working her way around in the paint. That one just a little bit too much power. Coming down with the rebound for the Raiders was Emma Meadows, and they'll saunter back across the court here, allowing time to set things up once more. Still looking for their first point after about 2.5 minutes gone by in this one.
Work a little 4 out one end, try to get a little weave action with your guard, see if you can't possibly get a drive or some type of screen. Maybe get your post flashing from one side or the other, get a one-on-one inside. But right now, Harbor doing great interior defense.
Meadows left open there for a moment, works her way in, lets that one go back over to Miller. She works her way around the top and in, stops back over to Kemp. And again, keeping things up on top. And the takeaway there by McKenna Bray.
Yeah, just before the turnover, getting ready to talk about, nice drive.
Reskovics there, getting her first 2 points of the game.
Quick timeout by Charlevoix, looks like. I was just getting ready to say down here, spacing will be important for the Raiders on offense. You don't want to bunch it in too much, especially if Harbor's going to make you beat them from the outside. Even with their man-to-man or whatever type of defense they're going to run, they're going to pack it in more and prevent that ball getting inside or into the paint and make you beat them from the outside. So, again, patience. Your 4 out, 1 in that you started with can work. Just maybe set some inside screens and get somebody inside in the paint.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to step away for one quick commercial break. We'll be back after this.
Life gives us enough to deal with, like doing your taxes, hosting in-laws.
Oh, you're still trying to do the beard thing, huh?
And of course, filing an insurance claim. But luckily, Auto Owners makes it easy. They pay what they owe without any hassle. That's simple human sense.
Ask Bingham Insurance Services in Charlevoix if Auto Owners make sense for you.
Yeah, and here we are coming back into this one. We're having too much fun up here in the broadcast booth, as we like to call it.
I missed you guys.
I know, I missed you too. It's been almost 2 full weeks. 4:38 to go in the first period of this one. Speaking of 4, that's the score that Harbor Springs has, up 4-0 over the Raiders. Charlevoix's had good looks down at their end of the court, just not able to get anything to connect so far, Eric, as we've got our first sub in.
That Dana Brown, I believe, just packed her bags and traveled a little bit.
Traveling from TVC Cherry Capital.
You got that right.
All 3 of us utilizing that airport here. 4:25 to go in this first period. Another turnover for the Raiders. Lillian McShannock there in the corner. Gets it back over to Barnadin. And the Raiders worked on her
See,
quite
we
a bit,
got,
popped that
reach
away.
and foul.
Yes, it will be against Dana Brown. So she gets a travel and a foul here in the last about 25 game seconds. And our first substitution for the Rams, number 5, Peyton Page.
To watch for Charlevoix, too. I know that Dana got caught this time, and again, she wants to go over the top and front that. That way there's no easy passes down low.
Dana Brown not able to connect there on the layup. A lot of speed there behind her. Good takeaway, though, from Maggie Schaefer. And 2 more points. There you go. Olivia Flynn getting her first bucket of the night.
Yeah, let her up to the free throw line. Just an easy pull-up jumper. You got to go and stop the ball before it gets it within shooting range. Don't just back up because you're just going to let them pull up wherever they find the sweet spot.
Schaefer working her way around. Flynn gets the takeaway.
Yep, just move your feet and stay in front. Ooh, nice effort.
Yeah, you got to give effort to that young lady down there, number 15, Ayla Kemp.
You might want to give her a quick break, though. I think that's 2 fouls on her now.
That is. But she gives it her all down there on that floor. You can tell besides Maggie Schaefer, she's probably the most spirited player for the Raiders.
And again, don't get out of sorts.
Yeah.
They're going to try to push the tempo. Don't play their game. Just remember, take a deep breath, be patient, and play your game and find the right shots, and then get back and play tough defense and rebound the basketball.
And there's the 3rd point for Flynn. And that'll be 30-second timeout coming up for the Raiders. Look to be we're going to stay right here as the Rams go up 8-0 over Charlevoix. Eric, Charles?
Yeah, I mean, just so far in this game, I initially thought within the first 2 minutes of this that the Charlevoix was going to be able to kind of find their footing in the last 3 minutes since that 6-minute, 30-second mark. I believe the Raiders had it at the free throw line, and that's when Raglandowski went 0 for 2 from the line. Rams came back down and went 2 for 2 from the free throw line. So you talk about that swing. It was a 4-point swing, and now it's a 8-0 lead for the Rams.
At the same time, I've seen probably at least 3 missed baskets already within 5 feet and closer to the basket by Charlevoix already. So the potential score, it's not the real score, but the potential score. And again, just be patient. Let's get the first bucket to go in and then move on from there. Just like this against this diamond press, be patient. What you want to do is put one person in the middle, and what they're doing is they're playing the sidelines. They're going to get caught there.
Yeah, that will fall on Lillian McShannock, her first. Team second, Charlevoix with 4 fouls, Rams with 2. McShannock, one of the freshmen out there for the Rams, a very young team. More freshmen and sophomores than they have upperclassmen. But they've had a great start to the season so far, going 9-2, as that one's just a little bit too tough for Schaefer to hang on to. So I'll go back to the Rams.
Yeah, sometimes you can have your hands up ready to receive that ball, and sometimes it's a little too hard, so you got to make sure that the touch that you're giving with that pass is the right touch, too, as we get a travel on the Rams.
Yeah. That'll be a rare travel call. You won't see that too often on Olivia Flynn. So the inbound right here in front of the bench between Schaefer and Miller. Across the half-court line, 3 minutes, 10 seconds to go in this first period. Still an 8-0 ball game.
And Schaefer is able to drive. I'd play a 2-man game with them. You see they're going to go up into Schaefer's face. They're going to get right up. And my rule number 1 is if they're going to play that close to you, you take them to the hole because your first quick step, you're almost halfway by them anyway. So set up a little 2-man game, get a little pick-and-roll action, put everybody else on the other side, and maybe catch Harbor coming over to help on defense and leaving somebody open too.
Brown to Schaefer. Back to Brown we go. She had a good look at a layup earlier on. Hasn't had much at the basket since. Back to Schaefer. She brings it around the top. And good perimeter defense once again by the Rams. Peyton Page hanging all over Brown there. Waglandowski puts up another easy shot from about 3 feet. Well, nothing's easy in basketball, but a close one.
That was a nice interior pass. Just got to get those to fall.
Yep.
And I would think, yeah, okay. I would say that was a travel more than a foul. He made the right call.
Want to give a shout out to our Martin Concrete baseline camera tonight.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
Cool tie-in.
Yep, get you one in the middle and a reverse player, and we'll draw something up about that when we get a chance later on in the game.
Okay. And the third foul coming up here for the Rams. That'll go on Peyton Page, her first. Starting to spread the wealth a little bit more here. Wyglandowski takes a rest on the bench, bringing in number 24, Taryn Carey, for the first time this evening. Just under 2.5 to go in the first period. Schaefer off to Brown. Again, no points scored yet for the Raiders in the opening nearly 6 minutes of this game. Miller gets that off to Schaefer. She works her way inside, floats one up and banks one high off the glass.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
Not the prettiest shot, but it's 2 points nonetheless, and we saw one go in.
Gets 25% of the lead back, and that'll be another trip back to the Raider end of the floor.
Again, it's not a textbook layup or a textbook shot, but yet she's still attacking and looking to go up and maybe get a foul out of it. So again, not all bad. Don't get caught in the corner there.
Schaefer trying to work her way out, and it'll be a tie up here.
Jump ball.
And that'll go to the Rams.
You always got to be careful because it was the far official that blew the whistle, so you never know if it was going to be a foul call. Thankfully, he did call the jump ball.
McKenna Bray doing a good job there getting it back for her fellow orange and black teammates. Minute 42 to go in this first period. 8-2 ball game. Bray working her way around the top. She gets it back off to Flynn. A quiet night for her so far. She puts up a big 3 ball. No good off the back of the iron. Schaefer
nice run down by Maggie Schaefer. Yep. Now what she should do is go up strong.
And she does.
Nice take.
And the Raiders cut the lead in half here in the last minute of gameplay, 8-4. And that'll be a foul coming up here on the Raiders as Flynn drove that one all the way.
Is he just calling that out of bounds?
Well, I see.
I think they're debating on what the call actually was. I think looks like the under official was waiting for the side official to make that call, and now they're going to decide what the call is going to be. Probably out of bounds underneath.
All right. So that's what it all ended up to be there as Flynn gets the inbound pass off to.
Yeah, you got to get her out in front of her. It's too easy. You can't give her the ball down on the block. She's going to take you to town.
And there's the 15th foul coming up for Charlevoix. That'll be on Hannah Miller, her first.
So right here, gentlemen, it's a 4-0 run right now for the Raiders. And we just want to give a little quick shout out and a look into the records of these two teams. So Harbor Springs comes in with a 4-game winning streak, looking to make it 5 in a row. They've only got one loss here in this 2025 calendar year to Sault Ste. Marie. And the only other loss this year came to St. Ignace. So the Rams on this year, this season, 9-0 versus teams from the Lower Peninsula, 0-2 versus teams from the UP.
That sounds about right for any team down here. I tell you what, those UP teams are always good. But 2 free throws go up on the tally here for Harbor Springs, and it's a 10-4 game. Credit to the Raiders, though. They only had 10 points scored in the entire first meeting that these two teams had back up in Harbor Springs. So Charlevoix already almost halfway to that one. We're not even done with the first period as that one falls away. And back up court we go. Reskovics not able to deliver the mail there.
Yeah, nice hesitation, just didn't make it.
Somehow the ball spurted back out with the Rams. Flynn hits her knees. Back over to Peyton Page. And then 3 ball from McShannock, no good. The rebound and putback brought to you by McKenna Bray.
Nice little 4-0 run for the Rams and answering back after the Raiders had made it an 8-4 game.
Yep.
Harbor Springs goes back up with 12 or 4 of their own.
Yeah, the problem with Charlevoix right now is, again, they're not putting somebody in the middle of this press break. They're trying to beat the ball with long passes on the side, and Harbor's just standing there waiting for them to do that.
Good find inside to Flynn. She spins around from about 6 feet away. No good. Into the hands of Dana Brown, and the Raiders have 2 seconds. And that'll take care of the first period. The Rams on top, 12-4 over the Raiders. But the Raiders, for their credit, have had a lot of shot opportunities so far. Just a matter of making them in. Hopefully we'll see that continue on here throughout the game. We'll step aside for a quick commercial break and come back after this.
Unique gifts, home accessories, wedding items, and so much more. The Lake House on Bridge Street offers so many things to make your home or even your visit to Charlevoix that much more special. When you want beautiful items that reflect Charlevoix the beautiful, stop in or visit them online at thelakehousecharlevoix.com for your own keepsake and your own personal memory of Charlevoix.
Located in Charlevoix, Michigan is Martin Concrete, where they specialize in residential concrete construction, providing high-quality concrete work and guaranteeing customer satisfaction. They're proud to serve Charlevoix and the surrounding areas. No job is too big or too small for Martin Concrete, with services ranging from concrete slabs, footings, driveways, retaining walls, and much more. There's nothing that Martin Concrete can't do regarding concrete. That's Martin Concrete, online at martinconcretecharlevoix.com, or give them a call at 231-838-9610.
And coming back into this one, ladies and gentlemen, just about ready to get underway with our second period. It's a 12-4 ball game, but boy, we were talking about how close this one could be. If Charlevoix could just convert on a few of their possessions, this could easily be a 2-point ball game. You know, you had the 2 missed free throws earlier on and a number of missed shots inside of 5 feet. This could be a much different ball game so far, but we'll see if the Raiders can get the momentum going in their way and get some shots to fall in.
Yeah, don't be discouraged. Play hard. Keep playing tough. See what happens.
Only the first or second 3-point shot of the night, attempt that is, coming up from Emma Meadows. Falls just a bit short as we get a good putback there by Steffi Reskovic from along about 15 feet out.
So far, Reskovic the leading scorer in the game for Harbor Springs and shouldering a lot of this scoring load right now, attributing to, I think, 6 of the 14 Ram points.
I think she's got 4 right now. Unless my score looks wrong. Flynn had 6 that period, and Reskovic had 4.
Second straight 3-point attempt by Meadows. That one just a little bit too powerful.
It's hard to tell. Flynn was 4 for 4 from the line.
Peyton Page double teamed here. Let that one go to Reskovic. It'll be Miller one-on-one with her all the way down. Reskovic punches that one out, staying with the Raiders down there.
And again, that's all about just getting possession of the ball, keeping control. And again, they're not directly in front of you, so get control of that ball and then go up strong. Look to score, and maybe the foul happens.
Ayla Kemp also coming in fresh off a long rest, picking up 2 fouls in the first period as Schaefer works her way in. A little bit high on the glass there. Players from both sides falling all over. Gained it back up. And Reskovic powering her way in.
And one.
There
you slid underneath her on the way down, so that's an easy call for the official.
And we open this one up to a 16-4 game now, as the first foul of the game goes on Sarah Waglandowski for her tally. Also took a rest in the last couple minutes there, that first period. And there you go, a 3-point play the old-fashioned way. Reskovic putting her name on the tally book so far in a big way this evening, right there along with Flynn. The Raiders find themselves down by 13, 17-4. As Kemp works her way out of a jam, back across the timeline.
Nope. You got to put the ball down first, sweetheart.
Yep. Now Reskovic leading scorer for the Rams.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That'll be Cordelia Cunningham there on the travel. She just came in a moment ago as well. 6:20 to go in the first half.
Yeah, she took over the lead as Harbor has gone 7 for 7 from the line so far.
That's impressive.
Yeah. And a nice backhanded layup there by Barnadin, Lily that is.
Yeah, Raiders lost sight of the offense. A quick slap of the hands, and they were able to find her underneath.
And that'll be a good find. Not able to finish that one off, though, was McKenna Bray. She'll be going up to the line, though.
Be the second on Miller.
So that'll be Miller and Ayla Kemp, both with 2 fouls apiece so far for the Raiders. Well, that's 8 for 8 so far.
And you just talk about the free throw line point disparity here between these two teams. You've got 8 for 8 for Harbor Springs, 0 for 2 for Charlevoix. So that's a 10-point swing so far. just coming from the charity stripe. Got a lane violation called against the Rams. When you see some of the, looks like some of the East Jordan Red Devil girls basketball team over in the far side corner, maybe doing a little recruiting or scouting.
Yeah. Interesting. Another takeaway here by the Rams. Ayla Kemp fighting for it, trying to get it back. Reskovics back over to McShannock. Oh, I apologize. That's Sophie Barnett in there.
Get back, find your man, or get in position.
And Bray met all sorts of trouble there in the paint. Kicks it back up top. No good on the three-point try from Barnett. Yet another rebound by Lily Barnett. Back to her sister Sophie. And around we go. Harbor Springs with yet another opportunity to try and score. That one falls short on the rebound. Lily once again. And Harbor Springs is just having their way at this end of the court, with Flynn finally finishing things off with a three.
Yeah, when that shot goes up, you got to find a body, make contact, and then go get the ball. If you're just going to stand and stare at the rim in the basketball, they're going to sneak beside you and end up getting the ball instead of you.
That's just one of the hard things. You can't give a good team extra opportunities, extra chances on the offensive end. Every time that you give up an offensive rebound, you're just kind of putting yourself in a disadvantage from a percentage standpoint of what the other opposing team's shooting percentage is. You know, if they shoot 40% on the field or from the field and you give them 3 shots, there's a pretty good chance that they're going to get one to go through the basket if you give them 3 attempts and there's 40% shooting team.
And another turnover here. Ayla Kemp met a lot of trouble there with the Rams.
I've got a drill for that.
Okay.
Yep. We used to do the bubble drill. It was a lid we put on the rim. It had all these bubble dents on it, so it was all about rebounding and positioning, and your scoring was based on your rebounding.
I think this Raider team could use a few different drills from our head coach, alumnus Eric Huffman.
That's a Harbor Springs alumnus.
That's right.
Yeah.
Harbor Springs, Harbor Light Christian, 25 years of coaching experience with that young man behind me. And he still itches every game for it.
Yeah, I like the word young you used, too. On that one.
Well, young at heart at least.
You got it.
Yeah. Maggie Schaefer will get the rebound there. The Raiders have not scored since midway through the first period when they had their only spurt of 4 points straight. As Cordelia Cunningham gets this one to Waglandowski, spinning around, put that one up. Not exactly the best place to do so with McKenna Bray all over her. We'll go back the other way with Flynn. Nonetheless, there'll be another foul coming up on the Raiders.
What Waglandowski needs to do is if she's going to turn, square her up and keep possession of that ball, square her up, and then maybe just one little quick juke and then take her to the hole. But she's looking to be more pass first than score first, and you don't want to do that when you're in the paint. Look and see what they're giving you first, and then look and see if you've got dump offs or kickouts or whatnot. But always, if I get the ball inside, I'm looking to see if I can attack that first.
So about worst case scenario here for the Raiders. Ayla Kemp picks up her 3rd foul before halftime. So she'll be taking a rest as Dana Brown and Brooklyn Schwanke come back into this game. First free throw made there by Flynn, no surprise. 9 for 10 from the line so far. And 10 for 11.
And just remember, the only miss is a lane violation.
This is one Northern Michigan team that has worked on their free throws, no doubt about it. Sometimes we find them struggling up this way, but not these Lady Rams.
Well, when both coaches' last names are Flynn, you know free throws are being shot all day, every day.
Another missed opportunity here. Dana Brown left that one a bit short. As Riskovics working her way back over, no good there from Lily Barnett. And Maggie Schaefer gets it back for the Raiders.
Yeah, see if we can't get a good set going here. Yeah, and the sheets turn, and then look, she one dribble into the paint, and she'd have that little shot that she'd been working on.
But Maggie Schaefer instead lobs that one against the backboard. Be back the other way. Flynn pulls up for a long three. Why not? That one falls a little bit too long there off the back of the iron.
You cannot turn your back on her, especially after she crosses half court.
25-4, 21-point lead for Harbor Springs. We still have 3 minutes to go in this first period. Another takeaway by Flynn.
Now, looking at the Harbor Springs girls' end of the year schedule, they finish out their non-conference play against Alpena on February 25th and then home versus Gaylord St. Mary. So taking on Class A Alpena and then Division 4 powerhouse in Gaylord St. Mary on the 27th of February. You want to talk about a way to really prepare yourself for the postseason? That is a really good way to get yourself ready for the postseason.
Especially with the St. Mary's girls, because they're on a roll right now. Just had a tough one the other night. Was it Inland Lakes, I believe?
Yeah, they beat Inland Lakes in overtime.
Yeah.
And
that was the top of the Ski Valley. Was that, am I correct?
Yep. Gaylord St. Mary girls, I believe, are 10-1, as Inland Lakes drops to 9-2. But a couple of really, really good non-conference games for Harbor Springs to close out the year. That's an impressive schedule, not only with Alpena, but also taking on Sault Ste. Marie and St. Ignace.
And that's a game that Next Level Broadcasting is very excited to bring, isn't that right, Charles?
Yeah, put it in perspective. Harbor Springs played Inland Lakes earlier this year and won 51-49. So between Harbor Springs, Inland Lakes, and Gaylord St. Mary, I think those are probably the three best girls basketball teams here in the northern part of the Lower Peninsula.
So I'm just going to say, so that time on the press break, the Raiders ended up with a girl in the middle. They got the ball there. She turned, and the press was beaten. But that's the first time they actually got the ball into the middle and looked to attack, and they ended up with was it like a 3-on-2 or a 4-on-2. So they got to look to get that ball in the middle and then turn and look to attack and keep your lanes filled.
Yeah,
Looks like I think Brown stepped across the line on the inbounds.
Yep.
Tough outing here to begin for the Raiders. 27-4 is now the score. Just trying to hang on and find some positives here, scoring and defensive efforts. And, of course, getting some shots up still. Not able to get them to fall in, but we've got some drills I'm sure Eric's loving to draw up later on, maybe during our halftime show. As Flynn works her way around both Miller and Schaefer.
Yeah, we got plays for days.
Yes, indeed.
3 seconds?
Yeah, it should be.
Yep.
And that's a call that you like to see the officials make. I mean, how many times do you hear like that old school dad up in the crowd?
Oh, yeah.
3 seconds. They're camping out down there.
Yes, camping out.
One person that won't camp out is Maggie Schaefer as she tries to take the brunt of the weight on her shoulders with this team. Ayla Kemp not able to be out there on the floor with 3 fouls.
Surprised the whistle wasn't blown with that hitting the furniture behind the
And a good
backboard.
finish there by Steffi Reskovics.
Thought she might get the and one there.
Yeah, I thought so too. Went down on her keister, but was able to get the ball in the hole. And that'll be a foul coming up here for Lily Barnadin. 3 team fouls for the Raiders, 2 for the Rams. Here's we got a minute 22 to go to close out this first half. Raiders looking for their first points scored in the last 10 game minutes. As Flynn shoves that one over to Barnadin. And working her way around the perimeter nicely, up and away, 3 ball, no good by Sophie Barnadin. The putback and cleanup right there for Flynn.
See Harbor's keeping the energy up going into halftime. Charlevoix, little red face, just trying to get through this half, get in the locker room and regroup.
Schwanke to the baseline, back over to Schaefer. She goes for a nice jumper, that one just a little bit short. Picked up by Reskovics. Just under 40 seconds to go before everyone gets a moment at the halftime break. Regroup, talk some things over as Flynn spins around effortlessly, puts that one up, falls short into the hands of Brown.
And don't go anywhere during our Traverse City Cherry Capital Airport halftime show. We'll break down, head over to the coach cam a little bit and break down some ways to schematically try to break this Harbor Springs pressure, and then also look ahead to tonight's NCAP game between the boys and talk about what we anticipate to see for that matchup between these boys varsity teams.
What a fun game that's going to be.
Yeah, it was a good game the first time around.
Harbor Springs beat Charlevoix by only 3 at Harbor Springs, so we'll have to see if the Raiders can build upon their momentum that they had against their big win in Sheboygan here this past Friday night and see if the home crowd can't help propel them along.
Second foul on Reskovics.
Schaefer here taking care of the inbound pass off the baseline. Finds, well, gets it right back to her. So loses control of it, throws it up with a prayer, and that'll fall off the backboard harmlessly. So it'll be a 31-4 score going into the halftime break, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to step away for a few moments and be back in a little bit with our TVC Cherry Capital Airport halftime show. Stay tuned.
Now's the time to fly from your Northern Michigan hometown Cherry Capital Airport. TVC. TVC Airport will get you to your dream destination anywhere in the world. Visit tvcairport.com now.
Located in Charlevoix, Michigan, is Martin Concrete, where they specialize in residential concrete construction, providing high-quality concrete work and guaranteeing customer satisfaction. They're proud to serve Charlevoix and the surrounding areas. No job is too big or too small for Martin Concrete, with services ranging from concrete slabs, footings, driveways, retaining walls, and much more. There's nothing that Martin Concrete can't do regarding concrete. That's Martin Concrete, online at martinconcretecharlevoix.com, or give them a call at 231-838-9610.
Now's the time to fly from your Northern Michigan hometown Cherry Capital Airport. TVC. TVC Airport will get you to your dream destination anywhere in the world. Visit tvcairport.com now.
Unique gifts, home accessories, wedding items, and so much more. The Lake House on Bridge Street offers so many things to make your home or even your visit to Charlevoix that much more special. When you want beautiful items that reflect Charlevoix the beautiful, stop in or visit them online at thelakehousecharlevoix.com for your own keepsake and your own personal memory of Charlevoix.
Dad, brought you some popcorn. You should relax. You worked so hard for us.
What happened?
It's a little fender bender, but Mom already filed a claim with our agent, and we can track the status right from the app. Auto owners pays what they owe without any hassle.
Sounds like simple human sense. Well played.
Ask Bingham Insurance Services in Charlevoix if auto owners make sense for you.
Charlevoix State Bank was founded in 1994 to provide exceptional local service to our northern Michigan community. With 6 locations in Charlevoix, East Jordan, Boyne City, Ellsworth, and Beaver Island, we're here to make banking easy, right here in your neck of the woods with people you know. Charlevoix State Bank believes in the positive lessons of high school athletics and is a proud sponsor of tonight's game.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to our TVC Cherry Capital Airport halftime show. Shane Smith, Eric Huffman, Charles Strail, the three of us bringing this one to you live from Charlevoix as they take on the Harbor Springs Rams in a doubleheader this evening. First, before we get into our Coach Cam segment here with Coach Eric Huffman, we want to thank our very special sponsor at TVC Cherry Capital Airport with 7 airlines: American, Avelo, Allegiant, Sun Country, United, Delta, and now JetBlue, to serve you all year round, no matter where you'd like to go across the country and by extension all over the globe, with over 20 nonstop destinations here in the United States. Make sure you see TVC Cherry Capital Airport soon for your spring break getaway plans. All right, Eric, we're going to send it over to you here for our Coach Cam segment. Talk about some things that Charlevoix can do to try and work on besting this Harbor Springs team the best they can here.
Yes, sir. I guess let's just talk about the first thing I probably talked about the most is kind of just beating their press. As they see, I got the X's set up for the defense, kind of set up in a diamond-type press with 1 in the back. And you've got somebody taking it out for your offense, 2 guards, and then 2 here. So whether you want to set a screen or if they're going to set up in a zone like that, just get into an open area. So you're going to have one guard go this way and the other guard go this way, and you're going to get them open. And once you get the ball inbounded, let's just pass it to this one here. When the ball's inbounded, the other guard, whichever guard doesn't get it, is going to flash hard to the middle. Because against zone presses, when the zone press moves, it shifts and opens up passing lanes. So then you've got this one flashing to the middle, and sometimes you can hit this one because this person wants to go up and double team. So you might hit this one coming in front of the defense, and then you've got a 3-on-2 all of a sudden as you see these 2 defenders back here with these 2 here, and you're going to end up with a 3-on-2. If that doesn't happen, if you don't get the ball in the middle, at least you've got someone there that they have to watch, and then your inbounder just steps inside, because what also happens is these 2 defenders are going to come over here and look to double team. So if you can get your reverse pass back to your inbounder real quick, again, as the zone press shifts, you're going to have this sideline to work up, and you've got a pass here possibly or an over-the-top pass to this person and still end up with a 3-on-2 because your opposite guard then runs to the middle and you've got all 3 lanes filled. And 10 seconds is a lot longer than people think. Take a deep breath, be patient. 1 or 2 passes will beat a zone press if you're patient and hit the right ones at the right time.
All right.
And you can be shooting layups all game long, and you can back them out of a press. You can make them go back to sometimes with some presses they'll back them up to half court and either try to do a 1-2-2 at half court or a box press at half court or whatnot. But at least get them uncomfortable with their press to where they have to back out, and take your victories where you can get them. Learn that press break, and usually call it as it sets up. A lot of people call it this. I know the St. Mary's boys call it this too. It looks like 5 on a dice. It looks like the number 5 on a dice, and so that's kind of the play that you would call it. So that's just one way of running a press offense against a press. And again, it's effective.
Yeah. So, it's not been for lack of effort so far from Charlevoix. It's just been a number of turnovers. Harbor Springs had the same number of turnovers pretty much going through that first period as Charlevoix did. Could have been a much closer game, just a matter of making those shots in so far for the Raider girls, especially anything within 5 feet. We've only seen 2 3-point attempts so far this game from Charlevoix. So it's a matter of that determination and discipline to work their way, to power their way inside the paint, try for those layups, draw those fouls, and make the Harbor Springs Rams work for a little bit there on the defensive side of the ball.
They can't just scoreboard watch too and say, oh, here we go again. We're down this many.
Yeah.
Let's be frustrated or angry or whatever. No, you got to stick with the game plan, stick with the philosophy. You got to work on stuff. Treat this as a game to work on things to get better. Again, like we just drew up the press break. Work on your press break. Get good at that. Let's have one offense set up against their defense, and let's run that until we get consistently good at that. If you need to, if a game is out of hand, which right now it's 31-4, treat it like a scrimmage or treat it like a practice if you need to. The first year where we went back-to-back conference and districts, our first 2 games of the year, and everybody knows me, I'm a zone and press guy. My first 2 games of the year, I went strictly man-to-man because the girls needed to learn man-to-man principles. And so we ended up losing those 2 games and going 0-2, but they were non-conference games. And I guess, again, after learning the man-to-man principles, because we didn't have lots of time with our practicing and no scrimmages to start up the season. So you got to use the start of your season to get ready for your conference season and build up for your tournament or your playoffs. So, again, we ended up winning the conference and districts that year with that group. But, again, learn things when you need to learn them and use it as a tool.
So one thing we want to build up our excitement for now is this headliner game tonight, the end cap here between the doubleheader that we've got, and that's the Harbor Springs boys taking on the Raider boys here at home. Again, like we said earlier, Charlevoix went up to Harbor Springs back in December, lost by a close 3-point game. The deciding factor in that was about a half dozen missed free throws. Otherwise, the Raiders and the Rams played equally. The Rams sitting comfortably atop the conference right now with 11-1 record. Perfect. I believe it's 8-0 or 6-0, one of the two in conference play so far. I apologize there. But, overall, Eric, a lot of these folks from Harbor Springs. These boys. Let's talk a little bit about that game and what we've got in store.
Yeah, it's typical Harbor Springs versus Charlevoix. I mean, even back when I was still coaching at Harbor Springs, they're always exciting, hard-fought and tough games or close games. Obviously for Charlevoix, it's what are you going to do to stop Braden Flynn? I believe he was the one that hit. I think he hit a big 3 or a big shot that put Harbor in the lead, or was close right there towards the end of in the first matchup. And he can shoot it from anywhere, but you also got to look out for, because he's got some good help in Novak. Bartel's a good helper too, and Cousins can give you some good minutes as well. In Charlevoix, the last time I covered them, I had been saying that they're pretty much my favorite team to watch, or that we've broadcasted this year, because they don't have that one person that it's like, okay, we've got to stop that person and we beat Charlevoix. They have a 3-headed monster with Gaffney and Watkins and Collins, and on any given night you've got Jackson Krause, who we've seen go off on 2 or 3 games and have double digits and many rebounds and whatnot. And
we've got kind of another monster working his way into the fold, and that's freshman Carter Greenacre.
Yes,
he,
sir.
He shot off, I believe, 5 threes in Charlevoix's win against Sheboygan. So
Yeah.
he's an exciting player to watch grow as well.
Greenacre's one I've bragged about that should have been on varsity for the whole year, but that's just me. But yes, Greenacre, good minutes being a fifth quarter player. And then, obviously Ryan Pearl is my utility guy. He can do a little bit of everything for Charlevoix. But back to the girls, and here we go.
Eric, I'm going to have you take on the play-by-play for just a moment as I get things squared away.
Hey, you got it. Oh, we're going to get a foul underneath. Reskovic's going up for bucking in amongst the trees and going to get a foul.
That'll be Hannah
And
Miller.
that'll be, Hannah Miller at third. Are you back, my friend?
I think so.
Okay.
Had Charles step away here for a moment, so I had to get all the tech stuff rearranged here, ready for our second half. And we've got Reskovic at the line. Gets the 32nd point for the Rams so far in this game.
Yeah, Reskovic and Flynn leading scorers for Harbor so far.
What do they have?
Yeah, I'll get you after this free throw. We'll get you an update. Oh, and a missed free throw for Harbor Springs.
You don't see that too often. And a little bit short there on that jumper as well. As we take it back the other way, Miller spinning off to Schaefer. And that one broken up and taken away by Reskovic once again. She flings that one back over to Lillian McShannock.
Nice steal by Schaefer. Now, when she gets her control, go right through her. Oh, now she needs to go up through her strong and get that foul. She tried to elude her and wave her body around her. She needs to go up, square up, and go up strong. Another good bucket by Reskovic. I believe that gives her 12 points, and Flynn has 13 so far.
That'll actually be McShannock there on that one.
Is that McShannock?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. I'll take those away from her and give them to her.
She gets the steal here.
Oh,
trying
yeah,
to get
I
a couple
see the
more.
number.
Works along the baseline. That was Schaefer hanging all over, so it'll be back over to Reskovic. And now to Flynn. Back around we go to Sophie Barnadin. And Flynn takes it for herself against two different Raiders. Why not? And we come away with it there off of Ayla Kemp. She's back in. Had to sit out a fair portion of that first half with 3 fouls so far in her tally. And speaking of 3, that's Hannah Miller working her way.
Yeah, hit it.
The third 3-point shot of the evening so far. Emma Meadows not able to connect on them. And Wyglandowski leaves another one a bit short there.
Again, Wyglandowski puts one dribble on the floor, and she's got a good bucket or a foul.
Yep, Steffi Reskovic with the answer back. 36-4 now.
I can give her those 2 points back now.
Yeah,
you can see they back the diamond up to half court like we had talked about.
Kemp driving on the baseline, lets that one go. Flynn knocked it away.
What they'll look to do with the diamond at half court is if the player goes up the sideline, once they cross half court, they will try to use that corner of the half court as an extra defender since you can't go over and back, and it'll be like a triple team almost.
So we'll have another timeout called here by the Raiders. And we are going to keep it right here.
And we're going to keep it right here, and we're going to have a brief.
We'll have a brief pause. How about that?
Yeah, something like that.
Got some tech problems here we're trying to work out.
It's all good. Got a decent crowd here.
With unique gifts, home accessories, wedding items, and so much more. The Lake House on Bridge Street offers so many things to make your home or even your...
Trick plays there on the tech stuff. You'll have to teach me some of his wizardry later on. As Kemp to Maggie Schaefer at the top here. In case if you were wondering what the pause was, it was that right there. He's trying to get a little picture-in-picture going for both the advertisement and our game.
Thought I saw something familiar on that screen.
Our very good friends. Oh, there you go. Miller gets a 3.
Nice.
How about that?
First point since the first period for Charlevoix.
That's at the Lake House, Eric. You're the proud owner of, and you also sponsor with the Lake House our Coach Cam. So we're happy to have you there. As Harbor Springs works things around here, back to Flynn. Charlevoix with their first points since about the 4-minute mark in the first period. They're at 7 right now. They scored 10 against Harbor Springs in their first outing. As Flynn floats up another one, drains it in effortlessly.
Yeah, defender backed off, and you can't do that past half court.
A really nice set there in the half-court offense there ran by Harbor Springs. You get a lot of action on dive cut, and then you bring your shooter right in behind it. And it's hard to guard, and you really got to be on your marks and know the scouting report because you don't want to let Olivia Flynn walk into that wide-open shot.
3 more unanswered points from Harbor Springs, and that will bring up the running clock, which starts at a 35-point differential in the second half. Ayla Kemp tried to save that one as it went off the feet of a ram, or a hoof, you might say. But she came down on the floor with it, and the travel was called. .4:30 to go in this third period. Ooh. And that'll be, well, I guess a foul call coming up.
I'm assuming.
Well, I thought.
Well, there was no direction. He just kind of put his hand up in the air. I was waiting to see if he was going to call a foul, put direction of the ball.
Taryn Carey coming back into this one, as well as Brooklyn Schwanke. And
yeah, now bring Schaefer should be over here, and you should have one player in the middle right now. You can do that 5 on a dice, even at half court.
Yeah, Christy Cordova, the last one of the shift change there. 3 different Raiders coming in off the bench.
And they just need to set a screen for Schaefer. Schaefer's doing a good job driving, at least trying to get some fouls, throw some shots up. And maybe just play some 2-man with her and see if she doesn't get some open passes, too, for the defense coming to help on her drive. But you can't just have her try to do a dribble contest and do it all on her own.
Little pinball play going on there as the ball bounces around between players. McKenna Bray, getting it back in her possession, firing off the short shot. We've got a 41-7 ball game. That one was tipped by the Rams. But I tell you what, coming back down with it, and the cleanup work, Taryn Carey getting her first points of the game.
Nice
Raiders
work,
tonight.
stayed after it. Good hard work, good hustle, went up strong.
Flynn trying to kill a little bit of that joy and momentum there. Leaves that 3-point shot short. She was about 4 paces behind the top of the arc.
Just make sure, because she will shoot that shot all game long. Just make sure you're not running out to her, because then she'll do that slight hesitation and she'll go around you.
Now, Eric, I believe you said she's a Western Michigan commit?
I believe it's Western. I'm trying to remember for sure, but I believe it's Western, yeah.
Either way, Division I basketball, so it's cool to have another Northern Michigan player representing the area. And I tell you what, 2 more points coming from Maggie Schaefer.
Yes, nice drive by Schaefer.
Raiders get into double-digit scoring, 41-11, 3:03 to go here in the third. And a nice sink in there from McKenna Bray, long 2.
Yep, Harbor spreading the wealth a little bit this period.
Raiders scoring 7 here in this third
period.
Hit it.
Nope.
Tried to take away there was Flynn.
Yeah, get up, get stop her at the 3-point line. Don't wait till way down in the block, because you're going to get a dump-off pass for an easy bucket.
There you go. That was number 11, Lily Barnett, in there. Kemp to Schaefer, and Peyton Page is right there to break things up. It'll stay with the Raiders, though. 23, Marley Richardson comes in for the Raiders, as well as number 10, Michaela Beach. Olivia Flynn still out there on the floor. 45-11. 34-point game. Once it gets above 35, a running clock will ensue in the second half.
Ooh, just mistimed her jump.
Good try there. Schwanke gets it back for the Raiders. That was Christy Cordova on the shot attempt. Schaefer throws one up under the basket, no good. We got a tie up here. I don't know. I guess that'll be a foul on Schaefer instead.
Her second. Getting a good job by her continuing to drive.
Yeah.
She's not able to get him to score right now. Looks like she's got a little hand issue going to be attended to by the in-house sports medicine person.
There you go.
Looks like they're going to wrap her thumb up from what I can see up here in the mezzanine. She's a hockey player. Tape her up, send her back out.
There you go. Olivia Flynn, ever the floor general here, setting up her troops.
Good job.
It's a good pass inside. A little bit too
give
far
a
into the
shout out
basket.
to Cunningham on that defense there on the backside. That's what you want if you're going to do any type of zone or box and one like they're trying to do, is you've got to be in your area and know when they're trying to slide behind you. And she saw and recognized and slid in front and almost got that steal. So good job on rotation on the backside defense.
It'll be Marley Richardson on the inbound. Newcomer just a few moments ago, as well as Michaela Beach looking for her first points. Throws that one up and over. It'll be another Raider foul coming up here. That one will fall on Taryn Carey. First team's fourth this period. Harbor Springs yet to find a foul. With a minute 30 to go in this third period, Beach going up to the free throw line, still looking for her first points. That one goes off the heel.
Got a little look ahead to the boys varsity game here, which will be our nightcap tonight. The Harbor Springs Rams come in with a 11-1 record. Charlevoix can't sneeze at their record either, 8-4. So
8-4 with a number of close losses. Only one of which was more than 10 points so far this season. 6-point loss to one of the top teams in the area, Glen Lake. 3-point loss to Class A Petoskey.
Which they should have won.
Yeah, they should have. There was one other close loss. Oh, yeah, the 3-point loss to Harbor Springs, the one we've been talking about all night long. How about that?
Yes, very battle-tested are the Raiders. And, again, trying to find their identity throughout the season, too, and some of those losses could have been trying to find that as well. But, again, it's not like you have that, okay, we're going to give it to this guy and he's going to carry us to the win. It's like, okay, who's got the hot hand tonight, and we're going to go and we're going to facilitate through him.
Sure.
But that also can be a good thing, too, because then your opposing teams don't know who to plan for.
We're going to keep it right here as we pay a 30-second commercial break. We'll keep it right here, and we'll be back after this.
Unique gifts, home accessories, wedding items, and so much more. The Lake House on Bridge Street offers so many things to make your home or even your visit to Charlevoix that much more special. When you want beautiful items that reflect Charlevoix the beautiful, stop in or visit them online at thelakehousecharlevoix.com for your own keepsake and your own personal memory of Charlevoix.
As we come back into this one, ladies and gentlemen, the Raiders down 46-11, 35.
Donner, she'll be shooting.
Yeah. Sending Kemp to the line. Michaela Beach there with her first foul. So one thing the Raiders can be happy about so far is that they're already ahead of schedule in their scoring compared to the first game that they had against the Rams. They had 10 in that first game, 12 so far here.
That's usually the case. You'll play a little bit better at home as opposed to on the road, just generically. But Raiders actually proving that a fact here tonight.
And depending on how Harbor plays the rest of this game with the score the way it is, think about, hey, let's win the fourth period, depending on if Harbor's going to play their starters or try to get some other kids some minutes too. Look to win a period or take the first 3 or 4 minutes of a period, see if you can't win that.
They have kind of, we'll have to see what Olivia Flynn's score tally is here at the end of this third period.
Yeah, they're still trying to get her shots off the box and one.
Yeah, that one will go off the support, so it'll be back to the Raiders.
Even with the box and one, they're keeping her up on top, and they're just trying to give her a quick little screen just to get the ball in her hands because she's not worried if there's a hand in her face. She'll still let it go.
That's for sure. That marks all 4 years I've been watching that young lady down there, 33 on the floor. Cordelia Cunningham back over to Brooklyn Schwanke. She looks to find something, finds Brown at the moment. Deala Kemp broken up momentarily by Flynn, hanging all over. Back over to Cunningham now. She tries to work it inside. Gets that one taken away as well by Reskovic.
Nice look for Flynn on the run. Didn't even have to slow down. Caught it in stride. Finished with the layup.
Yeah, they're definitely on the same page right there, Reskovic and Flynn. I mean, you don't get that level of adept at passing without having a lot of playing time, building a lot of chemistry together.
Taryn Carey trying to drive that one in. Just a little bit too much power. Saved by Beach. That'll be into the third period. Harbor Springs going into the final 8 minutes of this game, up 48-12. We'll step aside for one more break and be back in about a minute. Stay tuned.
Charlevoix State Bank was founded in 1994 to provide exceptional local service to our northern Michigan community. With 6 locations in Charlevoix, East Jordan, Boyne City, Ellsworth, and Beaver Island, we're here to make banking easy right here in your neck of the woods with people you know. Charlevoix State Bank believes in the positive lessons of high school athletics and is a proud sponsor of tonight's game.
Now's the time to fly from your northern Michigan hometown Cherry Capital Airport. TVC. TVC Airport will get you to your dream destination anywhere in the world. Visit tvcairport.com now.
Coming back into this one, ladies and gentlemen, about ready to get going into our fourth quarter here. Harbor Springs up 48-12 over Charlevoix. Eric and I having a bit of a laugh up here, as we always do.
Choking on my drink is what I was doing.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay. The final 8 minutes of this game underway, with Maggie Schaefer taking control of things here. Brings it over to Kemp, who had 3 fouls in the first half. Thankfully, has not picked up anything since, and that'll be a travel call. They'll say it was Marley Richardson coming down there with it for the Rams and getting it back for them.
Yeah, they're calling the travel on the Raiders, trying to get up after they got the ball off the floor.
Yeah. So Olivia Flynn still out here, up 36 points. Just over 7.5 to go in this ball game.
And they're basically trying to run a box and one, but what they got to be careful with is over-rotating and leaving wide open spaces with this. They get caught up in thinking about man-to-man when you got 4 other players actually playing zone.
Beach finds Reskovich, and another 3-point try, no good.
Another case of find your man,
There
put
you
a body on him, then go get the ball, or else that rebound doesn't happen.
Yep.
Yeah, Tom Izzo likes to say hit, find, and fetch. And that pertains to making some contact with somebody, finding the ball in the air, and then going and get it.
Again, the bubble drill take care of that.
So that'll be for Marley Richardson. Cordelia Cunningham loses control of that one as it goes careening off the end of the court there. It'll be Reskovich taking it back to none other than Flynn here. As we work our way out to close in this game. That one will get through the hands of Reskovich, though.
And, you know, Eric, you talk about your bubble drill, and it's interesting to see how times have changed with how rebounding is taught. When I was playing basketball, it was always about, can you shield and cut out your defender or offensive player from getting the basketball as long as the ball's in the air until it hits the floor. Now it's all about finding, making contact, keeping the opposing player away from it, and then going aggressively trying to get the ball yourself. It's interesting how the theory has evolved in the last 15 years.
It has, and some of the rules and the way they've changed up some of the rules too. You really got to change some of your philosophy with that too, because it used to be just bang around the boards and go get it.
Right.
Now you got to worry about undercutting, displacing someone, and so you've really got to have good technique on rebounding the ball.
You got to give credit to Emma Meadows. Her 4th attempted 3-pointer of the night. Not able to get that one, but on the other end of the court, Olivia Flynn draws the foul and gets 2 more points on her tally.
It'll be 4th on Kemp, I believe.
Yep.
Again, she is the one on the box and one and playing against one of the best girl players in the state. So the fact that she's still out there with only 4 fouls is a good thing because she's been putting in a yeoman's effort tonight.
Again, only a sophomore. She works her way into the paint, drives, no good there.
Yeah, nice take.
Yeah. And that'll be off the hands of Meadows. Last one to touch it there. Harbor Springs with the control back in their hands. Up 42, running clock here, 5.5 minutes to go. Or 41, rather. Pass around the top to Flynn. Kemp staring her down still. Off to Reskovich. She lobs that one up, no good. Brown with the rebound. And the Raiders will take it back.
See, they're working in some players off the bench, but you also got 1 or 2 starters out there to kind of make sure that everything's under control too, and it's not just the Keystone Cops out there.
There you go.
Oh,
yeah, there it goes.
A victory lap for 3.
My gosh, ×2. I mean, that thing took about 3 years to fall down. 3 trips around the sun there for that one. Yeah, it's Kemp gets 3 points there in a big fashion. 53-15.
Good hands by Cunningham, knocked that out of bounds.
Reskovich to Flynn, inside to Beach.
And again, what Dana Brown wants to do is front that, and that pass doesn't happen.
Yep.
Always front down on that low block. Make him throw the pass over the top because you got backside help.
Want to remind everyone that coming up after this, it'll be the boys varsity. The 8-4 Charlevoix Raiders taking on the 11-1 Harbor Springs Rams. We'll have a brief about 10-minute intermission, and then we'll get rocking and rolling once again as you get they get an offensive foul there, Aaron?
Yeah, and I know why he called it, because she dipped her shoulder and ran her over. If I were still coaching, I'd probably be up in arms, because the defender did not set themselves and they were still moving. So I'm thinking, okay, that should be a block. But at the same time, it could be some of those changes or tweaking of rules. That block charge is such a hard thing to call at all levels these days.
One thing that I've seen so far is that an extension of an elbow or lowering of a shoulder trumps everything now.
These
in
days,
high school
it seems to.
Whereas before, if you never really could extend your elbow, but if you put your shoulder down, you could sometimes get away with it. And if the defender hadn't established that legal guarding position, or if they didn't go straight up, then you were getting the block call.
One of my
there you go,
Waglandowski. One of my teammates who coaches up in Red Deer, he used to call me Hollywood because I could sell the charge really well in school. But I always had my feet set. You always had to be set and not move. Where today's game, it's different.
Yeah, today's game, you don't need your feet set to draw that charge.
You just got to be in position.
Yeah. And position can mean you're there, and you can still be sliding or moving.
Yep. And if they dip, because if they dip their shoulder or extend their arm, it's going to go on them.
2.5 minutes to go here before we wrap this one up. Good shot there, most recently by Charlevoix. And Waglandowski to bring this up to a 17-point scoring game for them. We've got newcomer Lillian McShannock after a long rest on the bench there. Yep. That'll be turning it back over to the Raiders. Everyone's just kind of here in anticipation now for the boys' game, trying to let this one right off into the sunset. These girls have put up a tough battle against Harbor Springs, but when you have a team like this that's top of the best of the best in Northern Michigan, it's hard to beat them no matter where you are, how you play. And they've seen that so far. Good pass up court here. And 2 points coming up from McKenna Bray. 57-17. Timeout. We're going to have a shift change here for the Raiders.
Looks like it's just for subs.
We'll get to them as we go throughout the game here.
Yep, line change for the Raiders.
You got Nay Carlson, Christy Cordova, Brooklyn Schwanke, Cordelia Cunningham, and Addison Shearer all coming back out here on the floor. For the final 120 seconds of this game. Schwanke
hit.
Gets over to Shearer.
Yep,
travel.
She thought about shooting it and then thought twice and ended up with the travel.
Got a nice crowd building in here. One of the better attendance that I've seen so far for this Charlevoix home team.
You know, and again for Charlevoix, too. I mean, they're going to lose, I think, 3 players this year, but they've got a lot of players that came out this year, and on JV as well. So, again, they are a young team, and the future looks bright. They got some nice young players that put in some good minutes.
Mm-hmm. Not the least of which, Anna Kemp and Maggie Schaefer, sophomore and freshman, respectively.
Yeah, I believe Schaefer could be the future for the Raider girls team. And hopefully she sets a good example for the rest of her teammates, and they all follow the lead. Or if they do have a leader on the team, get the team morale built up and keep working at it. Even in the off season, that's when your most important work gets done, is when you have that long break in between games.
Taryn Carey's put some good minutes in this afternoon as well, and she'll be one to look to grow with as well. She's got a lot of height on that girls' team, and they'll look to utilize that.
Yeah, I always say the season's not over. It's just a long break in between games.
That's right.
So you still got to put that work in.
Cordelia Cunningham getting this one off. It'll be
no
Beach
fouls there.
getting
Just let it
the
go.
interception, and that'll be the end of the game. A 57-17 affair as we call it good for this girls varsity game 1 tonight. The boys coming up here in about 15 minutes. As Charles said, we are going to take about a 10-minute or so intermission as we look to get everything switched around and prepared for this boys matchup that we're also excited for. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in for this first game of tonight's doubleheader. We'll be back in a few minutes. Stay tuned. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to our second game of this evening's varsity doubleheader here. Shane Smith, Eric Huffman, Charles Strail bringing this one to you live from the house that Haskey built. Keith Haskey, that is. As we get ready here, about a minute and a half until the national anthem starting lineups here. Eric, Charles, you know, it was a bit of a tough game for the girls in the opener tonight, but we've got a really action-packed one ahead of us here between an 8-4 Charlevoix home team and 11-1 visiting Harbor Springs team. They played it right down to the wire, a 3-point differential here back in December. The deciding factor in that one was free throws. What are we thinking so far tonight?
Yeah, you got to wonder if it could come down to that again. I mean, obviously, it's the Raiders' turn to be in their home gym. They got a decent student section, a decent crowd here to help cheer them on. You never know if that'll help ramp up the energy or intensity and see what can happen. Again, like we talked about earlier, what are they going to do about Braden Flynn tonight? You don't want him to start going off because if he gets hot, and then he could be hot all night.
And he had it going on the first time these two teams played. Actually, it was Flynn who made a go-ahead three-pointer. The Raiders had a 2-point lead. Flynn made a three-pointer to put the Rams up by 1, going into, I think the last minute and a half, 2 minutes of that game. And then the Rams ended up winning it by 3. But here's the thing. If you go back and watch that game,
Charlevoix missed a layup at the end, too.
A wide-open three-pointer. Actually, Joe Gaffney had the wide-open three. It went in and out. That would have sent it to overtime. So that game was close, and we anticipate seeing a close game here tonight as well.
All right, so now we'll send it down to our PA announcer, Ann Gorney, to bring us into the national anthem, and we'll be back for the starting lineups on the other side of this. Play ball. Now for your starting lineups, ladies and gentlemen, of course, beginning with the visiting Harbor Springs Rams.
Yeah, I was able to catch up with the head coach for a few minutes, too. Johnny Flynn actually was an assistant coach for his father in JV in Harbor Springs when he was a freshman over there.
Gotcha.
Before he transferred to Petoskey, and the rest is history.
You've got a lot of history in this northwest corner of northern Michigan, Harbor Springs, Charlevoix, Boyne, all that good stuff. But we've got our starting lineups here. First off, number 1, Ryan Novak for the Rams, followed by number 2, Ryder Bartell.
Yeah, geez, Novak went to school with his dad, Coach Flynn's dad.
3, Braden Flynn. 10, Colin Lang. And last but not least, to round out the starting 5 for the Rams, 21, Aaron Souls. For the Raiders, beginning number 0, Ryan Pearl. Oh, it's good to have a nice student section here. Next, number 2, Vitaly Collins. Number 4, Logan Watkins. And last but most certainly not least, and the gentleman we need the biggest night from so far this season, number 5, Joe Gaffney.
Yeah, this is the one I want to have a big night tonight right here.
Yeah,
I keep calling his name. One of my favorite players, a little inconsistent with his point totals, but still, any given night, he can be the man.
Yeah.
Jackson Krause, got to be my one to look out for. It could be the X factor for tonight.
Okay. And we hope to have some good quality minutes. I like talking about him because I saw firsthand his ability and talent up in Sheboygan. Carter Greenacre had 5 3-pointers go in this past Friday against the Chiefs, helping to lift the Raiders up to their 8th win on the season.
Yeah, Greenacre, very nice outside shooter. Again, I think he should be getting more minutes up on the varsity, if not permanently on the varsity.
So Harbor Springs will win the tip. So we get going with an immediate try down there on the basket, and that'll be Ryan Novak connecting. 8 seconds into the game.
Yep, and again, showing their version of the diamond press, too. Just a little show right now. They'll try to wear you down as the game goes on, then they'll start jumping the double teams.
Watkins working his way, flings that over to Vitaly Collins. Back up top to Pearl for his opening 3-point try. That one falls well off the mark and picked up by Ryder Bartel and the Rams. And a quick 4 points to begin the game.
Yeah, quick outlet. Couple quick passes. Like I say, two passes better than 2 dribbles.
Colin Lang there getting the bucket for the Rams.
A little overly aggressive on that one.
That'll be Colin Lang.
Yeah, on a rebound or even a made bucket, you've got to turn around and get back because they will look and get that inbound pass, if not to the old 28-foot mark, if not the half court right away if you leave them open.
Pearl once again from the top. The little spot where he took that 3-pointer back over to Gaffney. And around we go to Krause in the corner. It'll be Gaffney trying this one. Flings it back up top to Collins. No good off the heel. Gaffney there on the rebound. Chases it down, puts it back in.
Good hustle by Gaffney, keeping active, getting a rebound on the paint for the putback.
And I think he's the guy that needs to get his offensive game initiated here early. Come out aggressive for this Raider team. They need him to set the pace and be that table setter for the other players to get them comfortable shots.
Yeah, you can definitely tell when he's feeling good, he plays good. And when he plays good, the rest of the team's even better.
Braden Flynn working his way to the baseline. That'll be a travel call. Back the other way with Raiders. 6:34 to go in the first period. A 4-2 ball game. Number 2, Vitaly Collins taking care of the inbound.
Yep, the Raiders got one in the middle. They're 5 on the dice set up.
And
should be at
foul coming up here.
No, just out of bounds. It looked like looked like Bartel had. They were almost a jump ball, but Bartel was standing out of bounds. That's why it's Raider ball.
Gaffney to Collins. Raiders settling in here. Down by only 2. Pearl inside to Watkins. Good find, good patience and delivery.
Beautiful hesitation by Watkins for the easy bucket.
All knotted up at 4 apiece.
Charlevoix developed some great continuity with their little weave offense around the outside. Done that against several teams now and able to get some nice easy buckets.
Flynn to Sol, back to Novak. And Flynn once more, guarded around the perimeter. Lets one fly from deep as that one airballs past the net.
I tell you what, Charlevoix got bailed out there. They miscommunicated on their switch of that dribble handoff, and they actually had 2 guys guarding the ball, and he ended up taking the shot. That was they had an open man right there, the Rams did, but they just missed it. And Raiders catch a break, and Eric looking at me like he saw it as well.
It's again, a Flynn is a Flynn. Once they're past half court, you've got to put a hand in their face or start guarding them, or else it could be going up at any moment.
All the way to Krause, back up top to Vitaly Collins. That one goes off the iron, no good.
Yeah, his 2 shots seem to be moving to the side on both of them instead of getting a nice wide stance and going straight up.
That's your big 3-point 3 Fs there that you've got, Eric. You love talking about them on our broadcast.
Feet, focus, and follow through.
There you
yes,
go.
sir.
Vitaly Collins missing on those so far. Flynn not able to get the layup, but the putback falls away as well. And Watkins comes away with the rebound for the Raiders.
Just put a body on him and clear him out of the way. Don't let him shoot till they make it.
Pearl to Krause at the top here. 3 minutes gone by in the game so far. Watkins left open for a 3. That one falls a bit short.
Yeah, the hard part with that is you only had one Raider looking at the basket for a potential rebound, where everyone else was staring out from the perimeter.
And one of the things that the Raiders had an opportunity to do there is they had an opportunity to take their first lead. But it's interesting. The first time we saw these teams play in that 50-47 win, there was a lot of punching and counter-punching, metaphorically, between the two teams and how they would go on scoring runs. And right now the Raiders are in the midst of a 4-0 scoring run. And it's always interesting when these two teams play because they can get into droughts sometimes offensively just by how their offenses are predicated. And I think let's see which team can kind of keep a solid execution level tonight.
Good drive help by Ryan Pearl, stopped Flynn's drive, and then put a body on a man for a rebound. Almost like I was shouting down directions to him and he was listening.
That was Lang on the three-point try. Collins takes it here, spinning around. Flynn the best he can.
Ooh, they're going to get a hook and hold on that?
Yep, they are.
I don't think that was a hook and hold. I mean, we saw it from our sideline camera on our baseline.
Looked more like a foul to me. Looked like a foul on the drive more than a hook and hold.
That'll go on Vitaly Collins nonetheless. He and Watkins both have a foul apiece so far to begin action for the Raiders as Flynn takes it back down to the court. A good try there, but no good for the first attempt. And the second one falls away.
Yeah.
That was from Ryder Bartell and Colin Lang, respectively.
Slight lid on that bucket for Harbor down at that end. Missing some in-close ones.
Kraus for the three-pointer. That one's off the front of the rim. Into the hands of Aaron Souls and the rest of the Rams as we speed back down the court with Lang. The Souls once again spinning around Watkins.
That'll be a travel, yeah. 2
travels now for Harbor Springs to begin this one.
Again, they like to push the pace, but I guess for the time of this game, it might be just a little too fast right now. Maybe bring it back a half step or a step till you get your feet underneath you. A nice steal by Flynn.
And the bucket there by Novak. That kind of ended about a 2.5-minute scoring drought for Harbor Springs.
There you go, just patience with the ball. There you go.
6-4. Collins to Gaffney, allowing things to set up here.
Yeah, you beat any type of press a few times, got a couple easy buckets, all of a sudden they're not going to want to do as much.
Collins with a lot of time handling the ball so far this evening, gets it back over to Gaffney. As he works his way in, goes back out. Novak hanging all over him, but able to deliver as it takes a Raider roll.
Another thing that Charlevoix has been doing a lot better lately is being patient with the ball, not forcing passes or forcing too many things. Really been more patient on the offensive end as was that Lang for 2 more.
Yes, it was. The answer back jumper, and they take back the lead 8-6.
Yep. Now they need to put just one guy in the middle. There you go. You've got Watkins in the middle. Now he needs to move. Everybody should move as the ball moves, and then you've got people in position all the time.
Flynn with the steal and 2 points.
And that's one that the Raiders need to do a better job of. You can't give up easy baskets off the pressure.
Yep.
Another turnover, 2 straight now for the Raiders as it sneaks past Gaffney. Watkins trying to get a handle on it. They'll be going back to the Rams, though.
And that's just a nice play by Watkins to kind of just stave off that offensive pressure that the Rams were putting on the Raider defense right there. Raiders right now with back-to-back turnovers. And it's something that they'll have to get cleaned up because if you give this Ram team, extra possessions, and each one of those extra possessions that they've got a numbers advantage because just the way that their diamond pressure is set up, when they get a turnover, they automatically have a numbers advantage just from the positioning on the floor.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and that's when we talk about getting that man in the middle. If you're just patient enough, and like they started out a couple times, just passing the ball back and forth between the guards, you got to make sure that you're not getting lazy with that because that point guy will jump in the middle and steal that. But just be patient and take the as that zone press shifts. Look at your passing angles and hit the one that's open, and you'll end up with a 3-on-2 a lot of times, or at least beat their press. And again, if you beat it enough times and get some easy buckets off of it, then they're going to start thinking twice and backing off it a little more, at least back it off the half court, or maybe, depending on the game, just back it off altogether because they're worried about losing.
So it'll be Flynn here taking care of the inbound duties. 2.5 minutes to go in this fast-paced first period so far. Rams hold a 4-point, 10-6 lead on back-to-back Raider turnovers. Novak here with it. And a quick handoff back to Flynn as he works his way around the arc. Souls passes it back off, and now it'll be McShannock working his way into the paint for the first time this evening. Now falls short into the hands of Pearl, and the Raiders we go.
Yeah, he had 2 guys in front of him. Probably should have looked for the kick out. He had a wide-open guy on the wing.
Pearl with Flynn right there on top of him. Finds Gaffney. Raiders have not had a point here in the last about minute and a half of game time.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Pearl because he can play the point, he can play the wing, he can play the post.
Gaffney loses control of that one, gains it back before Bartell had a chance to get it. And it'll be Collins working it all the way in, no good. Pearl there on the strong rebound.
Nice rebound
Gaffney
by
for the
Pearl.
deep three, no good.
Keep shooting them. And
that
again,
one,
you've got to find, if you're man-to-man, you've got to find your man right away. Find them by half court and get your butt back and turn your head.
and we've got Carter Greenacre coming in for the first time this evening. Cross will take a rest here for a moment.
I'm interested to see how Greenacre does handling this pressure. I mean, last week the Sheboygan Chiefs didn't really put the same amount of ball pressure on that the Rams will.
It'll be Watkins to Gaffney. There's a three-pointer we were looking for.
Patience, beat the press, got a wide open shot. Nice finish by Gaffney.
And there's Gaffney answering the bell once again. He's got 7 of their first 9 points. We talked about it. He needs to be the catalyst here tonight for this Raider offense, and he certainly is so far.
Third turnover here for the Rams. That one brought to you by Ryan Novak.
We talked about it. He needs to be the catalyst here tonight for this Raider offense, and he certainly is.
Start bunching it in. There you're helping the defense. Now he needs to look to attack again. If not, you don't have anything, then you can set up your offense. But you still, look, another nice inside shot. Didn't have to run anything. Nice finish.
For the first time this game, the Raiders take a lead off a good spin move by Collins.
Stay patient. Take what they give you. They'll back out of it. But right now you want them to stay in it because you're able to score.
Shannock to Flynn here. 35 seconds to go already in this first period. As Flynn works his way in, triple team, steps out, puts it up, no good, into the hands of Pearl, and the Raiders take it back once more.
And so far, the Raider defensive rebounding has been limiting to the Harbor Springs to just one shot primarily on these possessions. A key part why the Raiders are on this 5-0 run right now.
Nice
Watkins
look inside.
Collins, drawing the foul.
Good look. And again, that's part of their continuity with the offense. Action inside.
Yeah. So this will be the first opportunity at free throws for the Raiders this game.
Foul was on Flynn.
And roughly only about a 60% mark in the previous game that we saw. And that was the main deciding factor in the Raiders' loss. First free throw missed here by Collins.
Well, like I talked about Collins with his first 2 outside shots too. Everything just seems to be kind of set up a little off. You know, he needs to widen that base a little bit and then just come straight up and follow through. Sploosh.
There you go.
And that's a good way to kind of get yourself into the flow of the game. You get to the free throw line after missing a couple shots, get to the free throw line, see one go through the basket. And that's what they say about a lot of good shooters. If you give them an opportunity to go to the free throw line, you're going to be in for a long night. So we'll see if that'll pay dividends for Collins here moving forward in this game.
Well, good consistent rhythm shooters will start no matter when they're warming up, they'll start from the inside out and get that rhythm going. So when they get to the outside shot, it's just a natural rhythm shot.
Flynn.
Nice take by Flynn.
Effortlessly there amongst the trees. Greenacre throws that one down. Gaffney, rather, goes off.
Get that rhythm going. So when they get to the outside.
But that'll take care of our first period of action, ladies and gentlemen. Tied ball game, 12 apiece. We'll step aside for a quick commercial break. We're going to take a breath. Be back on the other side of this.
There, Hannah again with Charlevoix Auto. Don't let summer pass you by. Get into a new Chrysler Dodge Jeep or Ram today and make this the summer event. Lease a sleek new Compass for an amazing $339 a month. Elevate your journey in a stylish Grand Cherokee for $429 a month. Or unleash the power of a 4x4 Ram pickup for $459 a month. Don't miss out in getting into your perfect ride for less at Charlevoix Auto on US 31 South near the Charlevoix Airport. Your trusted local dealership.
Dad, brought you some popcorn. You should relax. You worked so hard for us.
What happened?
It's a little fender bender, but Mom already filed a claim with our agent, and we can track the status right from the app. Auto owners pays what they owe without any hassle.
Sounds like simple human sense. Well played.
Ask Bingham Insurance Services in Charlevoix if auto owners make sense for you.
And here we are coming back into this one, ladies and gentlemen. Strap down into your lazy boys. Buckle up in your couches as here we go. 12-12 ball game to begin into the second period of action. The student section gets up on their feet. And we've got a great one in store for you here so far. Kraus to Gaffney. Just out of frame there. Back over to Collins now.
Job by Gaffney, resetting the offense.
Kraus
Nice
from
kick
the
out
elbow,
by Pearl. Yep.
Yep, just short. Be Flynn passing that one all the way up to Thaddeus Cozens. The first time we've called his name so far this evening. Boy, that's a name you don't hear too often. And that'll be a foul coming up here for the Raiders, sending Harbor Springs to the line.
Second on Collins.
Yep.
Thaddeus Cousins, I believe he's the quarterback for the Rams football team.
Wow. Freshman quarterback.
Yes,
all
sir.
right. Well, he's got a lot of time to work on his skills, that's
yeah,
for sure.
We're able to watch them play down in Elk Rapids during football season.
Yep. And that one bounces around and falls in. Bartell there at the line. Watkins comes back in to give Collins a rest. So the
ball almost just died there and then rolled in.
That's already our third lead change here in tonight's game.
Yeah. And there you go, 2 for 2 from the line. You know, Eric, you were with me that game here a couple of weeks ago where it bounced around and ended up stopping right there on the heel from a free throw.
Yes.
I've never seen that in my life.
Oh, really?
Pearl to Watkins. Just about a minute gone by so far in this second period. 14-12 lead. Harbor Springs has over Charlevoix. Three-pointer, no good from Gaffney.
Again, Kraus needs to look to attack the paint.
Novak there on the rebound, bringing it all the way to the other end of the court. Not able to connect. Kraus comes away with the rebound. Good rebounding night for him so far this evening.
Yeah, I just need to set that young man up because he's got some springs.
Yes, he does.
In those legs.
Whoa,
him attack the
Greenacre.
basket.
Loaded up there for Bear. Decided to hold off on that shot for a moment. He'll take it from the corner this time, though. That one falls off the side of the backboard.
Yeah, and that's not like Greenacre because he's a really nice outside shooter.
So for the moment, the Rams will have it back over with Flynn as he works his way inside. I think there's a little acting involved there.
Well, we'll get the token push on
Yeah.
Gaffney for his first. Not quite a soccer cell. Doesn't look like he's half dead.
Flynn finding Lang there. Back to Bartell. 6:14 to go on the second period.
Should
We've
be an
got another
illegal
whistle.
screen.
Yeah, believe, yep.
So it'll be on Lang there.
That's the second on Lang, and you'll see a substitution coming in here for the Rams. And I don't believe Lang had a lot of impact in that first time these two teams played, as he had foul trouble in that game as well.
No, I think it was Bartell that went off that game instead of Lang.
It'll be Gaffney coming along to the baseline. Lets that one go from about 8 feet. No good. Pearl
Nice
somehow
rise and
comes
shoot,
away
though.
with the rebound.
He knew he had a mismatch, so he was able to rise and shoot
Here
over
we
him.
go. Oh, just a bit strong there on the three-point try from Greenacre.
Second foul on Braden Flynn. We're going to get a push underneath, looks like.
And right now, rebounding, keeping the Raiders in this game. They're not executing as well as the Rams are. The Rams aren't turning it over as much. But the second opportunities for the Raiders on the offensive side and limiting the Rams to one shot on the defensive side right now, equaling these games out.
Kraus not able to deliver on that one. Ryan Pearl gets
I would
the
have
rebound.
Logan Watkins take Braden Flynn one-on-one right now and try to get him his third.
That'll be a huge factor in this game, taking out Flynn.
And Flynn's still playing aggressive, try to go for that steal from behind on Pearl, too.
Good pass and
Nice
find
lead.
there from Watkins to Kraus.
Nice lead for Kraus, his first two of the night. See if we can't get some more from that young fella.
Just want to give a shout out to Watkins there. Turned down a 15-foot jump shot, found a wide open teammate on the baseline.
Yep.
Watkins probably plays with about the best head on his shoulders with this Raider team. No shot there.
No, we're going to get your second on Watkins, riding right alongside him on the way in.
And right now we've got multiple key players with 2 personal fouls, Lang and Flynn for Harbor, and now Watkins for Charlevoix. So
yeah, you also have too, Vitaly Collins has 2.
So which team is going to be able to navigate this foul situation here is going to be pivotal in how this second quarter plays out.
Benjamin McShannock comes back in for Thaddeus Cousins. As Bartel lost control of that one. We've got bodies all over the floor. Gaffney trying to gather that one up.
Good hustle. That's what I love to see. Bodies on the floor. I don't like the 80-year-old bend over trying to pick that up. I want bodies on the floor.
So that'll be Watkins sitting back down for a few. Bringing in Ian Moran. That missed shot there. Picked up by Greenacre.
Once again, 1 and done for the Rams on the offensive side.
Just under 5 minutes to go in this first half. Greenacre finding.
Oh, almost. Oh.
And they had that backdoor set up.
Almost. It was nicely set up. And again, part of that continuity offense that they've been running too. It sets up nicely. It's not able to get it connected.
So still a 14-point game. Each team has only scored 2 points so far. In the opening 3.5 minutes of this second period, it's been a defensive battle. Oh my gosh, Kraus gets all of that.
Yeah, it'll be a block on Kraus. He's got to be careful doing that. And the crowd doesn't know what they're talking about, so just let them him and ha. That's why they're the crowd.
Yeah, this ref getting a lot of unnecessary talk back.
Yeah, inside he's smiling because he knows.
Yeah, it's all on film, ladies and gentlemen.
Again, much respect to the refs. They have one of the toughest jobs around.
But he makes up for it, gets the rebound. It'll be Gaffney with
nice
the head
call by Greenacre.
There it is.
Yeah, Greenacre called for that pass, and he's able to find him for the bucket.
Also, good job filling the lane by Greenacre there. He saw that lane becoming available, and he took it without any hesitation.
Flynn lost control of it.
Yep.
See which
good hustle by Kraus.
And so far, Eric, your X factor here for the Raiders, Jackson Kraus making an impact here. Quiet night scoring, only 2 points, but his defensive rebounding and just ability to play aggressive defense and switch and call out different coverages really helping this Raider defense.
It's not always about what gets your name in the paper.
Big shot there by Bartel to try and get the lead back.
They're going to get,
Pearl.
He's going to get Pearl flying in on that. Yep.
Yeah, that was one of the first times that the Raiders blew a box out assignment, as I believe.
They'll be shooting now.
Yeah, I mean, it was Novak who crashed the glass there, and the Raiders blew that assignment, and Novak going to the line.
Tough start here in this second period for the Raiders, already at 5 fouls with just under 4 minutes to go.
I was going to say, still got half the period to go, yeah. And we talked about free throws, how much they were a factor in the first matchup.
Right.
I will say this, both teams will need to adjust to how closely this game is being officiated right now. Only 4 points scored in the period for the Raiders and only 3 points now for the Rams. We're halfway through this quarter, and it's affecting the offensive flow of this game right now in my estimation of how closely this game has been officiated. You just need to adjust, and you got to figure out, how do we continue to run our stuff?
30-second timeout, Harbor.
Yep. And how do we run our stuff defensively? Because if we're trying to be super aggressive, making sure we get all these closeouts and then going to get these rebounds, got to make sure now that you've got 2 players for each side with 2 personal fouls apiece. So, that could be a serious impact on the game. Which team maybe rolls the dice here, tries to get that player back in, and do they pick up that 3rd foul? I would imagine, if you were power ranking the players with fouls, the largest impact right now would have to be Flynn with 2 fouls right now of all the players with 2.
And again, the saving grace for Charlevoix is, and like I said during the pregame, is that they could have several guys be the guy. So it's not like you have to stop Joe Gaffney and you have a chance at winning. No, you got to stop the whole Raider team, where they might have that advantage over Harbor a little bit. Where if you stop Braden Flynn or tonight seems to be Novak so far, then who are they going to go to?
Probably Bartel.
Yeah, you've got, what, Lang with a few buckets tonight, too, but still, you don't have that who you want to have with the last shot, you know, if Flynn's in foul trouble.
Yeah. The Greenacre,
nice
good
look.
pass to Moran, no good.
Puppy.
Krause on the rebound.
And another
gets it
missed
again.
puppy.
And it'll be Carter Greenacre cleaning things up for the Raiders once more, getting the lead back for them.
And you couldn't do that without the offensive rebounding of Krause there underneath.
Boy, I wish we had a tally on how many rebounds Krause has had in this game so far.
That should be white ball.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I mean, the rebounding differential right now is much more of a disparity than the score of the game. I mean, it's only a 2-point game, but the rebounding disparity right now is probably 7 or 8 in favor of Charlevoix.
And unless you have it set up and know how to press off a miss, you're not seeing presses unless it's a made bucket, too.
Right.
Gaffney to Moran. To Krause.
Oh, he's got to go up strong. Yes.
There he is. Good banker. And the Raiders have the biggest lead that either team has had so far. This game ties that at 4 points so far.
Thank you, Jackson Krause. Keep doing that all game long. We're going to get a hand check on Greenacre, it looks like.
6th foul coming up here for Charlevoix.
Yeah, and right now, the Harbor Springs offense right now is running through the free throw line. So Novak going back to the line, just made 2 there. And while your offense is kind of bogged down, if the Rams can get to the free throw line and shoot an effective percentage, which they usually do, they can kind of just tread water here while they're trying to find their footing offensively and defensively for that matter. I mean, Charlevoix in the half court right now, executing at a good level and getting baskets right around the rim.
There's the first miss of the evening from the free throw line. Leaves us a 3-point game. Gaffney taking it back down.
Yeah, and free throws are all of Harbor's points this period, too, so
Wow.
far.
Ian Moran thought about it, gets it back over to Gaffney. Finds himself backed into the corner. Should be over to Ryan Pearl, and now Greenacre once more.
Yep. Stay within your offense.
Gaffney floats that one up from about 12 feet, no good.
Ooh.
Nearly saved by
That's a good
Krause to
hustle.
Greenacre, just not able to get there in time. Greenacre had 17 points this past Friday against Sheboygan.
Nice. And again, that kid's got a bright future. Again,
Yeah.
logging good minutes on the varsity team, but I can't say it enough. Probably
Right.
should be a permanent resident.
When I was the senior in high school, Gaffney was the rising star as a freshman. Now that torch is being
Ooh, we got to
passed
be
down
careful on that
Greenacre.
outlet there, Mr. Moran.
Gathers it up, gets it over to Krause.
Almost said that loud enough, he might have heard me.
Working around
Nice.
Bartel, and he gets it in. Krause having himself a night.
Having himself a second quarter, too.
There you go.
Should have been an offensive, and it is. And that'll
fall
be
against Flynn. Number
3 on Flynn.
Yes, indeed. Number 3, 4-3. He'll be sitting out.
Yeah,
the rest of this half.
minute 47, and they're what? They're only down 5, and I say only down 5 for Harbor because they can score 5 in about 10 seconds if they, at times. So probably a good idea to sit him down for this last minute 47.
And as I said earlier in that timeout, which team would have one of their most impactful players with 2 fouls pick up 3, and it comes back to bite the Harbor Springs Rams with 1 minute 40 seconds remaining in this first half.
Gaffney and the Raiders here feeling the tide in their favor at the moment.
5-point lead, don't need to force it.
And the shot selection right now for Charlevoix has been very good.
Greenacre left open. There it is. That's the 3-pointer we knew we could get.
And that's a good shot to take, even with that much time left, because he is consistent from that range.
25-17, the Raiders open up an 8-point lead. 70 seconds to go in this first half. McShannock left in a jam, so it's passed outside to Novak.
If I'm Harbor Springs right now, I'm attacking the basket, trying to get to the free throw line.
Yeah, and you're gonna. Yeah, I'd run a 2-man with Novak right now. He seems to be your other attacking guard tonight.
Up and away from the free throw line, no good. Colin Lang, and that'll be Raider ball. 49.5 seconds to go.
I just think right there, Harbor Springs got to attack the basket, put pressure on the Raiders, make them either make a play, not foul you, or get to the free throw line, because that's where all their points have come from in this second half,
which
or
begs
second quarter.
Which begs the question, if Flynn gets a 4th early on in the second half, is who's the facilitator for Harbor Springs?
Right. There's a nice pass to the baseline.
He needed to go up strong again.
Greenacre
right there, go up
there
strong.
it is.
Yeah, see? That young man could probably score at least 15 a night if he would just look to score more, in which he is tonight. Too many times he's looked to pass first.
And one thing I want to point out about...
Can't get the cheap one from way out there.
And that one right there, the Rams will go back to the free throw line. But in terms of Jackson Krause, and it always holds true in my estimation of when big guys play aggressively on the defensive glass, they're going to play and be very engaged offensively. When you're crashing the boards and rebounding with authority, you're not thinking. You're just reacting and playing. And he's played a whale of a second quarter. Him and Carter Greenacre are responsible for a lot of this Raider outburst here in this second period.
Krause and Greenacre accumulate all of their points this period.
15-point period between two players. Harbor Springs brings them back to an 8-point differential.
Yeah. Krause 8 this period, Greenacre 7 this period. No other Raider has scored.
Gaffney to Greenacre. Oh, that's a dangerous spot to leave him open in.
They're going to take the last shot of the half, though,
Yes,
so wise or good discipline there for Carter.
Now I'd let it go.
Maybe back to Krause instead. And out of Moran for a three-point try. That'll be well off the mark, so that'll let the, well.
There should be about 2 seconds left.
I thought so, too.
Well, the hard part is I don't think the official ever blew his whistle because I never heard a whistle.
No, he didn't.
And so there's no reason for the clock to stop if the whistle doesn't blow. So it's an official's error, not a clock error.
Yeah, there should have been 2 seconds. I mean, I'm not the best clock operator here on our production, but I had it at 2 seconds. And give or take 1 second here, you should still have at least 1 second left here. But it looks like they're going to wave it off, and the Raiders will take a 8-point advantage to the halftime locker room after that monumental second period between Carter Greenacre and Jackson Krause combining for 15 points. And the Rams really got stuck in the mud there because all their points in that second period came from the free throw line. We'll break down what we saw in the first half coming up on the Traverse City Cherry Capital Airport halftime show. Don't go anywhere, folks. We got a good one here brewing in Charlevoix between the Charlevoix Raiders and the Harbor Springs Rams. We'll be back after this.
Now's the time to fly from your Northern Michigan hometown Cherry Capital Airport. TVC. TVC Airport will get you to your dream destination anywhere in the world. Visit tvcairport.com now.
Unique gifts, home accessories, wedding items, and so much more. The Lake House on Bridge Street offers so many things to make your home or even your visit to Charlevoix that much more special. When you want beautiful items that reflect Charlevoix the beautiful, stop in or visit them online at thelakehouseCharlevoix.com for your own keepsake and your own personal memory of Charlevoix.
Charlevoix State Bank was founded in 1994 to provide exceptional local service to our Northern Michigan community. With 6 locations in Charlevoix, East Jordan, Boyne City, Ellsworth, and Beaver Island, we're here to make banking easy right here in your neck of the woods with people you know. Charlevoix State Bank believes in the positive lessons of high school athletics and is a proud sponsor of tonight's game.
Located in Charlevoix, Michigan, is Martin Concrete, where they specialize in residential concrete construction, providing high-quality concrete work and guaranteeing customer satisfaction. They're proud to serve Charlevoix and the surrounding areas. No job is too big or too small for Martin Concrete, with services ranging from concrete slabs, footings, driveways, retaining walls, and much more. There's nothing that Martin Concrete can't do regarding concrete. That's Martin Concrete, online at martinconcretecharlevoix.com or give them a call at 231-838-9610.
Life gives us enough to deal with, like doing your taxes, hosting in-laws,
Oh, you're still trying to do the beard thing, huh?
and of course, filing an insurance claim. But luckily, Auto Owners makes it easy. They pay what they owe without any hassle. That's simple human sense.
Ask Bingham Insurance Services in Charlevoix if auto owners make sense for you.
Now's the time to fly from your Northern Michigan hometown Cherry Capital Airport. TVC. TVC Airport will get you to your dream destination anywhere in the world. Visit tvcairport.com now.
Located in Charlevoix, Michigan, is Martin Concrete, where they specialize in residential concrete construction, providing high-quality concrete work and guaranteeing customer satisfaction. They're proud to serve Charlevoix and the surrounding areas. No job is too big or too small for Martin Concrete, with services ranging from concrete slabs, footings, driveways, retaining walls, and much more. There's nothing that Martin Concrete can't do regarding concrete. That's Martin Concrete, online at martinconcretecharlevoix.com, or give them a call at 231-838-9610.
Unique gifts, home accessories, wedding items, and so much more. The Lake House on Bridge Street offers so many things to make your home or even your visit to Charlevoix that much more special. When you want beautiful items that reflect Charlevoix the beautiful, stop in or visit them online at thelakehousecharlevoix.com for your own keepsake and your own personal memory of Charlevoix.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to our TVC Cherry Capital Airport halftime show. Shane Smith, Eric Huffman, Charles Strahl bringing this one to you live from Charlevoix. What a game we've had so far. It's a 27-19 affair, but it's only been in recent minutes that Charlevoix has opened up this game so much, and it's only by 8 points. A very surmountable task for the Rams to come up against so far. We want to go into a quick scoring recap before we bring in Charles and Eric. For the Raiders, you've got 2 points for Collins, 2 points for Logan Watkins. Joe Gaffney so far with 7 on his tally. You've got 8 for Jackson Krause and 7 for Greenacre. Much different story for the Rams. The leading scorer for the Rams so far, Ryan Novak with 7, 4 for Bartel, all from the free throw line, and then just 4 apiece for Braden Friend and Colin Lang as well. So, gentlemen, I want to bring you in here to talk about some more in-depth stats that I'm not quite exactly adept at so far in this game and what you might look to see as we go into the second half.
Well, one of the key stats that Harbor Springs hangs their hat on are points off of turnovers, and the reason why they run that diamond press is because they want to get extra possessions. They want to get advantageous fast break opportunities by creating turnovers. Here's the thing about that. They cannot press if Charlevoix does not inbound the basketball. So all of these defensive rebounds that I've been harping on and accrediting Charlevoix for their effort on the defensive glass allows Charlevoix to bring the ball up the court unobstructed without fear of having this pressure. And in that second period, Charlevoix was able to get those defensive rebounds, get out in transition, and bring the ball up the floor without having to worry about the pressures of the Harbor Springs defense causing turnovers and then getting those easy turnovers for touchdowns, which is what the Rams want to try and set themselves up for with that diamond press. And speaking of that diamond press, we're going to bring in our coach cam here, sponsored by the Lake House in Charlevoix. Eric Huffman, our coach here on our panel. He's going to draw up and just kind of dictate and show you exactly what the scheme is for these two teams trying to break this diamond press.
Yeah, we kind of went over it briefly in the girls' game earlier, but we'll go over it again for this one. And it'll take a couple minutes because you've got several options. Obviously, you're going to try and press set up here. And just have your guards, if they're not going to guard you up man-to-man, you just have them stack, or you just have them go in the corner and get open. What you're looking for is get it to one of your guards and say the opposition's going to go over here. Your other guard, if he's going to break here, to have your 2 options to pass. And if he gets the ball, your opposite guard is flashing hard to the middle. And then you'll see, because a lot of times this person's going to slide over, this one's going to slide up, this one's going to slide over. And then you'll have this one, because if you flash hard, this one's going to have to come in, you're going to have to jump in front of you. So a lot of times you can get this, start going up the middle, and you've got a 3-on-2. So let's set up another part of that. Because once you got it here, your inbounder then comes in and is available, if they're coming over here, is available for a quick reverse pass. Yeah. And if they don't cut that reverse pass off, then you've got this sideline to go up and be able to get either a dump-off pass or be able to attack it yourself, because you're going to end up with a one-on-one.
Yep.
So then another thing you can do is, another rule of that is, and you've heard me say it through this first half, is, and I'll set it up with this formation without the defense, is you want to move your formation with the ball. So as the guards are coming up, you don't want to stay standing there. You want to move the formation with the ball so the defense has to spread out more. We talk about spacing a lot too.
Yeah.
So move as the ball moves. And so that means your bigs are going to move as the ball moves too. And so you'll end up with your bigs all the way down here. And how are you going to guard your bigs, or how are you going to press when your bigs are all the way down here when the ball's coming down the court?
Right.
So again, be patient. And what was Charlevoix doing? A couple quick reverses back and forth as they were bringing the ball down. And then Ryan Pearl started getting into the middle and kind of screening a defender once in a while to get open. And if they're able to get Ryan Pearl the ball there, whether it's him or the opposite guard flashing, you're going to end up with 3-on-2s, fast breaks, at least getting a foul out of it. And then again, like I said again in the first half, you do that enough times, they're going to back off, or they'll try to, like they did towards the latter part of the second period, they set it up at half court.
Right.
And tried to slow you down that way. But again, you can do the same type of setup even at the half-court set and still end up with a mismatch at the basket.
And personnel-wise, Ryan Pearl is like the perfect counter for a team that wants to have that diamond type of pressure because he's 6'2", can look over the defense, and he doesn't panic. He's a great passer and a great ball handler. A lot of teams in Northern Michigan don't have the luxury of having a player like that who's
Right.
got a very heady basketball sense and ability to read defenses, stay under control, and not panic in the face of pressure.
The other thing you'll do real quick is if they want to start denying these guards the ball, your two big men can just come straight up and be available to get a pass too, and then it almost sets you up for a 4 across inbounds.
Exactly. So we're ready to get things underway here in the third period of play. It should be a fun one.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, gentlemen, for your insights into this game so far. Off the bat, we already have a turnover. Aaron Souls loses his footing, or rather the soles on his feet, you might say.
Good catch on that one.
Thanks. I tried. Pearl back to Watkins here to get things started. Watkins took some time on the bench as well. He had a couple of fouls recruited in that first half.
Yeah, you got to be careful. He tried to thread the needle in a crowd there. Watkins did, almost had turnover.
Yeah. So Pearl taking a moment to get things back up top to Watkins once more. He drives his way in against Bartel.
They're going to get him with the push-off.
Oh,
yes,
man.
Indeed.
Yep. So now what that means is I think Charles mentioned just before halftime about the way the officials are going to call this game.
Yeah.
If they're going to tighten up and start calling every little thing like that, because that is his third foul now, I believe.
Yep.
So you got to be careful because your 8-point lead can go away really quick if you're on the bench.
I think if they're calling it that tight, you got to get to the rim. If you get to the rim and draw any marginal contact, you're going to get rewarded with a trip to the free throw line.
Offensively, I don't think Charlevoix needs to change a thing.
Flynn with the opening big shot here for the Rams. That one a bit too powerful. Gets it back to the Raiders unscathed here with their 6-point lead so far.
That was good transition defense by the Rams there.
Yeah. Gaffney gets to Pearl in the corner. Staring down Lang. Back to Watkins. He'll get that one pickpocketed by
Watkins
Bartel.
has to be careful because he tried to bump into the defender too to initiate contact. And if your offense is going to initiate contact, you just saw what happened on the last play.
If I'm somebody guarding the ball against Flynn or Logan Watkins, I'm going to try and draw a cheap offensive foul.
Yep.
Get one of those key players with 4 fouls. It's just a smart basketball play. If you don't have any fouls right now, it's worth the risk to try and pull that offensive foul call off.
I would either go 2-man on the right side and do a pick and roll and make Flynn make a decision.
Yep.
And put all your guys on the other side, or just go one-on-one. Just call an old number 1, do a clear out, and just have him go one-on-one and see if he can beat you.
Krause finds Collins now to Pearl left open. Tried for the three-pointer. That one falls short into the hands of Souls. Back we go. If you were Harbor Springs, you like that shot that Flynn took a moment ago to bring this lead back to only 6. And has only been scored 6 points so far for Flynn as well this evening.
Good job by Gaffney to wait for some company.
Collins lets one fly, and it's in.
Yeah, that's a beautiful play by Joe Gaffney. He drew the defense in and found Collins. And that's and one.
We talked about needing to get back as soon as possible. No chances
Gaffney,
to celebrate against
the
Harbor Springs. You got to get back.
And you see the and one there. Ryan Pearl went straight up, but the official on the baseline there claiming that Pearl's body went into Novak.
So he gets
And that's two little bits of body contact too. So you really got to watch these how they're going to call this second half.
That'll be the second foul on Pearl. Multiple Raiders with 2 or more fouls so far this game. Same can be said for Harbor Springs. Still a 6-point Raider lead, 30-24.
Little horn set here, Eric.
Oh, they had him too. The kick out. He had the kick out.
Goes
Still at the
sky
kick
high
out.
to get that one back over to Gaffney in the corner. Just a bit long there. Bounces around and into the hands of Lang. Flynn taking it all the way back to Lang now at the top. He'll work his way around the elbow back to Flynn. We go from way downtown and it's in.
What did we talk about? He'll shoot it from anywhere.
Yeah, just a lapse of pick and roll coverage there for the Raiders. They were both sitting down below the 3-point line. Flynn was a couple feet out past the 3-point line. They knew that they were either going to show up on the ball screen as you see it. And, I mean, you got to get a hand in the face of a shooter like that, whether it's the guard that's got to come out there and the big needs to let them know where the screen's coming from. You got to communicate, and that's something that the Raiders will have to address in their timeouts, how they want to play ball screen action. It bit them in the last time the two teams played, and they'll have to address it here as Flynn's coming out firing here with 5 points to start this third period.
They've kind of gotten away a little bit from their continuity of running their weave and whatnot, settled for some outside shots. And again, Flynn, I believe, had an NBA 3 or something from that distance, which was the decider in the previous game.
So it'll be an 8-3 run here to begin this second half. Harbor Springs back within 3, 27-30. There's Collins, who had the lone 3-pointer so far to begin this half for the Raiders, in control at the moment, staring down Flynn. Back over to Watkins. Picked up his third foul as well a few moments ago.
You know, I think the Raiders could put the Rams in some ball screen action here. They're running a lot of weave cuts and handoffs, but if they got the Rams into like a ball screen type of situation where they would have to either hedge, switch, or, you know, get over the screen, I would like an empty side ball screen right now with Kraus and Gaffney. And I think that would be a good action right now for the Raiders to just kind of settle back down.
They're starting to think a little too much and trying to do a little bit too much in their heads and doing that one extra pass or one extra couple steps that they don't need to do, and ending up with turnovers or Harbor Springs getting the ball in some way.
Harbor Springs very briefly down by as much as 10. Clawed their way back within 3, and that's number 10. Lang trying to deliver, no good. Gonna go back to the Raiders with another chance to try and widen their lead once more.
Yeah, now Harbor on the run. Let's see if they're gonna go half-court press at least, or just do a little show man.
Player of note not on the floor at the moment that the Raiders could use, Carter Greenacre. See when he'll make his first appearance in this second half. Just under 4 minutes to go in the third. Collins driving all the way in, gets that one pickpocketed. That'll be a travel instead.
And again, they're looking for drive and looking for the dump off. But when he looked to pass, he was basically by the block and could have just gone up strong through it instead of looking for that wraparound pass through traffic. We're in that close. Go up, rise up. He's an athlete. He can get up above that.
Flynn trying to cross into double-digit scoring. Gets it back over to Lang instead. Tries from the three-point arc, and it's in. Tie ball game, 30 apiece.
Yeah, the Raiders just fell for that jab step. It just put Kraus to sleep, and Lang just pulled up and knocked it down. 2 made threes here in this third quarter for the Rams. They're starting to find their rhythm from beyond the arc.
And again, Charlevoix just a little hesitant right now.
Big game for Charlevoix to win right now. Harbor Springs sits comfortably atop the conference with an 11-1 record. Perfect play in the conference so far. Collins and the Raiders, 3 minutes to go in the third period. 60 combined points in the game. Collins spinning around, drives it in.
He didn't look to pass. He looked to finish first that time.
All you got to do is come with a little ball screen action. That time, Collins turned it down. Poor coverage of the ball screen by Harbor Springs, and they got a nice basket.
Short there from Novak. As Kraus got the rebound, Watkins trots across the line.
I'd go right back to that action if I was them, Eric.
Yep.
There they go.
Get from the cow that's giving milk.
Gaffney to Pearl, spin around back over to Watkins at the top.
That time Harbor did a better job defending it.
Harbor Springs student section providing a constant drum in this game so far.
There you
Gaffney gets it all the way in, falls short there.
Yeah, he got position, just wasn't able to make it.
Couple good looks off that ball screen action.
Novak to Flynn, no good. Too much power off the glass. Into the hands of Kraus and a big heave up court to Collins now.
But you know that's a shot he normally takes, and he also expects his teammates to be there for the rebound.
Gaffney doubles his height nearly to catch that one. Drives it in, powers it, no good. 2 straight missed shots for Gaffney, although the crowd was looking for a foul on that one.
Although we talked about
there's the big 3.
We talked about body contact and easy fouls. Well, there was a lot of contact on that last one, and that's 3 threes for Harbor this period.
Colin Lang gets the lead back for the Rams the first time since early on in the second period. And the Raiders had as much as a 10-point lead, an 11-point swing so far.
Lang has really come alive in this third quarter.
Gaffney to Pearl, now to Watkins, left open, thought about it.
Smart.
Martell closed in, takes it all the way to the basket. Now the 3 straight opportunities now for the Raiders fall short at the layup, and that'll be a foul coming up on Charlevoix.
Yeah, and we're going to replay that one. As you saw, the drive by Flynn, and Ryan Pearl didn't go for the initial shot fake and looked like he got a pretty clean block over the top as you saw the replay there. And right now, I think the Raiders just need to keep running this ball screen action, keep attacking the basket. The 3-point shot hasn't really been their friend here tonight. They've made 3 on the night. Harbor Springs has made 3 in this quarter. So the Raiders got to keep getting to the rim, and they got to try to draw some contact as well. Harbor Springs still without any fouls in this period. So with the amount of physicality that there's being, or how quickly the calls are coming tonight, got to start getting some foul calls.
Yeah, like I said, I think they just got away from their what was going on in the first half.
Novak goes 1 for 2 from the line there, back to a 2-point lead in favor of the Rams. Greenacre comes back in here, the Raiders' 3-point ace so far in this game. 45 seconds to go. Gaffney trying to make sure the Raiders can use every second of it. Pearl finds Kraus, now to Pearl once again at the top as he tries to spin around and go for the 10-footer. Gets a Raider bounce, and we tie things back up at 34.
Great move by Pearl to just stop the bleeding.
And his first points of the night, too.
Wow, what a time to have him. 20 seconds to go in the third. Flynn to Bartell, back around to Novak, running around the top of the arc. Good find inside. That was a clean.
Yeah, no argument, just lost it out of bounds.
So 7.5 seconds. Charlevoix trying to get the lead back here. The Pearl on the inbound.
Plenty of time, get up there, find yourself a nice shot, get a quick screen.
Gaffney to Kraus for 3, no good. So it will remain 34 all as we go into the final stanza of this game. 8 minutes to go in this evening, ladies and gentlemen. This varsity doubleheader. We'll step aside for another commercial break and be back on the other side of this. Don't go anywhere.
Life gives us enough to deal with, like doing your taxes, hosting in-laws.
Oh, you're still trying to do the beard thing, huh?
And of course, filing an insurance claim. But luckily, Auto Owners makes it easy. They pay what they owe without any hassle. That's simple human sense.
Ask Bingham Insurance Services in Charlevoix if auto owners make sense for you.
Now's the time to fly from your Northern Michigan hometown Cherry Capital Airport, TVC. TVC Airport will get you to your dream destination anywhere in the world. Visit tvcairport.com now.
Wow. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, just about ready to get underway with our fourth and final quarter of this game.
What a great
34
game.
apiece, yes indeed. Harbor Springs came out swinging to begin in this third. The Raiders kind of put a cork in the bleeding for a moment, tied things back up, and now we've got basically all zeros to go into the final 8 minutes of this one.
We do want to update the foul status, though, and to do that, we'll send it over to Eric.
Yeah, and, Braden Flynn for Harbor has 2. Lang for Harbor has 2. For Charlevoix, Pearl has 3. Watkins has 3. Vitaly Collins has 2. And any other players have 1.
Okay. Good atmosphere in this gymnasium tonight as Gaffney finds Pearl to begin. Now it sneaks
got away
past,
with one there.
Yeah, Novak's
and
head.
then got away with another one.
That'll stay with the Raiders.
Yeah,
Ref
they
saying
just,
that went off of Flynn's body.
Their offense has just kind of looked out of sorts the second half. I don't know if they're worried about foul trouble or whatnot, but they just got to stay confident and keep doing what they were doing.
One thing that you guys were talking about, Gaffney has not scored since the first period.
Correct.
And that one gets through his hands, able to gather it back up at the Raider logo. Settle down here, gentlemen. And there's his first points. Just in the nick of time, gets the Raiders the 2-point lead.
It would be the announcer's blessing instead of announcer's curse,
There you
wouldn't
go.
it? Ooh,
But
nice
there's
rising
Flynn.
take by Flynn, yeah.
Can't stop that young man very often. How many points
pretty
does he have?
much Olay defense and gave him a lane. Flynn, we are up to 2, 4, 6, 8, 11 points.
Okay, just cross into double digits. Gaffney, the long 2.
Yeah, Charlevoix working that dribble handoff action and getting a nice open in rhythm jump shot. Joe Gaffney likes that mid-range, and he knocked it down.
Joe Gaffney now with 11 points.
Flynn just short there on the three-pointer. And here's that moment of trading punches that you were talking about earlier, Charles.
Yeah, both these teams jabbing like two boxers going toe-to-toe in the middle of the ring. The Rams have punched back, and let's see which team has the knockout punch here tonight.
Yeah, I got to think at this point it could be whoever makes the least amount of mistakes.
There we go, back to that dribble handoff action. The Raiders got the shot they wanted, just couldn't knock it down.
Whoever makes the most free throws will be the winner of this game. Bartel with Watkins back out on the floor.
Charlevaux's going to have to shoot a lot. They've only shot 2 all night.
Steps aside, gets a good
That was a nice play there. Just ISO basketball to get this game back tied up.
His first bucket of the night. He had a good game the first time they met.
38 apiece, 5:54 to go in the game. It'll be Pearl taking things inside, back out to Krause once again at the free throw line.
Yeah, Krause is going to start looking to attack again.
Be Watkins instead. Back to Krause. He'll go for a long jumper, though. Falls around and out. Pearl trying to get the rebound.
Ooh, yeah, it's
that's
just a bad foul, hustle foul. The hard part is that's going to be 4 on him.
Yep.
And that is probably your best blockout player and rebounder.
And also good ball handler for front court pressure relief valve.
One of the more heady players, too.
Right.
Going to keep control of things on both ends of the court a little more. But I think, yeah, it's 5:35 to go. I might roll the dice with him.
If you're Harbor Springs right now, you're running a ball screen right now with Novak. See if the Raiders switch it and put Pearl on Gaffney.
You got it.
I mean, you got to attack Ryan Pearl right now if you're the Rams, because he's going to have to give up some shots.
Yeah, and if I were to sit him, it looks like an illegal screen. If I were to sit him, it'd only be for like a minute.
As you talked about the illegal screen there, Eric, I'm glad that they're cracking down on that this year. That's one of the points of emphasis for these officials this year, is because you could get away with a lot of shifts and slants into those screening actions. And most people don't understand that a lot of times those illegal screens are actually on the guard or whoever's trying to go through the screen, not necessarily on the screener itself.
Yeah, timing's so important, and it's not just the guy going up to set up the screen. You got to be able to hang on or wait until that screen is set, too, and then use them.
So it'll be the third foul on Lang for the Rams. As Krause works his way around the crowd, gets it off to Gaffney, and we've got a foul coming up here against.
Offensive on Krause, it looks like.
Yes, indeed. Tough spot for that one. That'll be his second. Works his way around the.
Yeah, you saw it right there on that little quick replay. And once again, the defender was set, and Krause bowled him over.
Flynn getting that back over to Novak. Ooh. Pickpocket by Greenacre. And that will go back with the Raiders. Good job.
So the last 2 possessions for each team resulting in turnovers.
Was that young on young?
Yeah.
Well, Novak's,
Novak's
a
a junior. Okay. He just looks young from up here.
Collins at the top here, getting it back off to Gaffney. Only 2 points so far in this half. Need him to start showing up big time. Finds Watkins.
Right now, Pearl on the bench. They're going with Greenacre, subbing in for Pearl.
See, Collins spins around, finds Watkins on the baseline. Trees all over him.
Nice hammer pass.
Gaffney, that's in.
Yeah, they call that a hammer pass right there, that Watkins hammers it around on the baseline.
Yep.
And he was able to find Gaffney. And there's a foul called against the Raiders, but really good awareness by Watkins underneath the basket there.
Yep.
That'll be the second coming up on Kraus.
Well, all Lang had to do was, I think that's 3 on him.
Oh,
yep,
it is.
is
Yep,
3.
they just updated.
Yeah, all Lang needed to do was get him out of position, and then he just banged the body on the way up.
Should be 3 team fouls for the Raiders already. Just over 4 minutes to go in this fourth period. Thankfully for the Raiders, Lang misses that free throw. Not quite as good from the line as they were in that first game, Eric.
Yeah, I'll give you an update here after this second one.
Lang has really awoken here in this second half. He's got 7 points in this.
Looks like we had a full timeout by the Rams, I believe. Wait for the. Yes, full timeout.
So we've got a full timeout. We're going to go ahead and keep it right here as we hear from our friends at Charlevoix State Bank.
Charlevoix State Bank was founded in 1994 to provide exceptional local service to our northern Michigan community. With 6 locations in Charlevoix, East Jordan, Boyne City, Ellsworth, and Beaver Island, we're here to make banking easy right here in your neck of the woods with people you know. Charlevoix State Bank believes in the positive lessons of high school athletics and is a proud sponsor of tonight's game.
Here we are. 4 minutes and 9 seconds to go to decide the winner of this one. 1 point separates the two teams, 40-39. Harbor Springs looking to stay at the top of the conference. Charlevoix looking to try and play upset and work their way a little bit higher. Right now tied for third with Elk Rapids.
Yeah, seems to be a fun conference this year.
Yeah. Gaffney works this one across the Raider head, back over to Kraus.
Straight up man-to-man, see if they don't get their offense working here.
Gaffney
he was looking for a foul. He was looking for a foul and should have been more worried about the shot because he was all contortioned in the way. Yeah.
I like the set. I think if Joe can get to his spot again, he's got a rhythm here in the second half.
Flynn working all the way around the crowd, gets it back over to Lang instead.
I thought Flynn should have took that layup there.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't try that shot.
I mean, he wasn't going into the trees per se, and he had a good angle at it.
Looks like Tro's going to bring Pearl back in with about 3 minutes to go.
Nice pass.
Nice look off.
And there it is, Kraus delivering, getting the Raiders back to a full 3-point lead.
That's a great play by Watkins. He knew he was going to Kraus the whole time, but looked off the play until the very last second. Actually, he was looking away when he made the pass.
Flynn finds Bartell working against Collins. The opposing twos. Flynn from another three-pointer way downtown. 3 steps behind the line, drills it in.
And he shot that thing from Norwood, Shane.
Hey, he did. Let me tell you.
Any moment.
Man.
And that was just a simple guard exchange play.
Yeah.
That might have taken a little bit of wind out of the sails for Charlevoix. Just got their way up to a 3-point lead. Things are tied up, but not before Watkins gets the lead by 2 back in the Raiders' favor.
First bucket since the first period.
And that Watkins basket was all predicated on the coverage that the Rams were playing on Joe Gaffney. They were playing hot on Gaffney, not playing help defense from the near side corner. And because Gaffney was out there, it allowed Watkins, once he beat his man, there was no help side coming from the place side corner, and the rest was history.
That's what's nice of having so many players that you can facilitate through, because if they're gonna focus on Gaffney, then they can do what they did.
Pearl comes in for Greenacre. As Flynn works his way around, back over to Bartell. 2 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the game. Raiders ahead by a razor-thin 2-point margin.
Till it's crunch time and it's a close game, you're getting a lot of communication among teammates on the court now.
Flynn lets one. Oh, my goodness.
Smart
me.
play,
Yeah.
smart play.
Yep.
He knew he had the mismatch,
Crunch time, it's a
and
close
he
game. You got a
rocked
lot of communication.
Collins to
Teammates
sleep with the
important.
hesitation move. And as you see right there, shot fake, and he'll go to the line for 3. I mean, that's a very, very heady move by a nice player.
That'll give Collins his 4th foul now. 2 Raiders with foul trouble, Ryan Pearl and Vitaly Collins with 4 apiece. Flynn gets the first one in. Chance to take the lead here, all off of free throws, of which Eric let us know before this opportunity. Rams have gone 10 for 13.
There's the announcer's
11,
curse
11
right there.
for 14 now, I think.
There's the announcer's curse
Okay,
right there,
there it
Shane
goes.
Smith.
I wasn't trying on purpose or anything. So it'll be a tie ball game at 44 apiece.
Timeout, Harbor.
125 seconds to go on the other side of this one. So
It's
we're
like
gonna,
a 30-second.
Yep. So
We're going to take another quick 30-second timeout and be back after this from Bingham Insurance.
Life gives us enough to deal with, like doing your taxes, hosting in-laws,
Oh, you're still trying to do the beard thing, huh?
and of course, filing an insurance claim. But luckily, Auto Owners makes it easy. They pay what they owe, without any hassle. That's simple human sense.
Ask Bingham Insurance Services in Charlevoix if auto owners make sense for you.
And here we are, 2 minutes and 5 seconds to go in this one. Harbor Springs took that quick 30-second timeout as Flynn made 2 of 3 from the line there. Interesting break out of the timeout here. Kraus unattended as they caught Harbor Springs off guard from the timeout
I'll
break.
explain that on the next dead ball timeout, what just happened.
What a good draw up there from Troshak.
Yeah, it's not a – you can call it a draw up. I'll explain what happened here in a minute.
46-44. Long range bomb, no good from Novak. Watkins gets the rebound, minute 42 to go in the game.
Yeah, so on timeouts, I'm sure both coaches said, okay, at the 2-minute mark, this is what's going to happen depending on the score. So they know what should be going on right now, down to a minute and a half.
Every shot as precious as gold right now.
You can't die.
Timeout called in the nick of time by Anthony Troshak.
What's that,
and
Eric?
a battle between coaches here.
They're going to argue about the timeout.
Well, they're going to argue. I think the first argue is that they're saying that Ryan Pearl traveled, or the timeout, obviously.
So, my thought.
Let's see if we can get a replay of that.
My thought from
Pearl
up here
traveled.
is Ryan Pearl dives
or the
at the
timeout,
ball,
yeah.
and if you get possession of that ball and you're moving, it's a travel.
Yeah. But did he have possession of it, though?
Well, if he doesn't have possession, then you're not awarded the ball.
You can't get a timeout if you don't have possession either.
Yeah.
So what is his official call on that? I'll leave it to the stripes.
And that's one of the things, like, if he has possession of the ball, did Anthony Troshak, the coach of the Raiders, get a timeout immediately once the ball was possessed?
Right.
I think that's the explanation that the referees are offering right now to head coach John Flynn.
So, Shane, what went on down there real quick was when the second horn blows, you need to be out of your huddle. And the refs have the discretion to set the ball down and start the 5 count, which is what happened. Harbor wasn't ready. Charlevoix ran out. Ryan Pearl got it and did the deep pass for the easy bucket because Harbor wasn't ready coming out of the break.
All right. So with a minute 15 to go.
And we'll get a cheapie out in the wing.
Yeah, that'll be against Novak.
Right there, that's actually a good take foul for Harbor Springs. They only have 2 team fouls. That's the first one against Novak. Honestly, you wouldn't really hate it if he picks up 2 more fouls just like that, just so that way Harbor Springs has the ability to extend the game and put the Raiders at the free throw line, they need to do.
You just got to be careful because that means that they've got a couple more fouls to go for a steal, too. And if they can get away with it, then it's good for them. As you can see, he's trying to get the riding foul on Novak, but he's got to be careful, too.
Watch that elbow extending there.
Yes, or backing into him.
Right.
If Novak's off his feet or off his balance and he undercuts him, that gives him the official reason to possibly make it the other way.
No, I don't think Harbor Springs is going to be that aggressive with their defense. Never mind.
Yeah, that'll be Bartel.
And we got a foul. So the Rams picking up a lot of fouls early, but that's probably part of their game plan. That foul right there looked like it was an anticipated foul call by the referee, but still a lot of contact. Just, nice play.
Oh, nice. He's got to go. Oh, you've got to go up strong, young man. And you had Flynn on you.
Yeah. Now you're trapped in the corner. And right there.
You're lucky you got bailed out, because I'd have been going for the steal or the jump ball there.
So, yeah, I think Jackson Krause right there. You got to go up through the defender and Flynn. If you're, Krause is 6'2", you got to go up strong there and make him make a play.
Collins with must-have free throws, got the first one in there, makes us a 3-point game.
But not to say that Jackson didn't make the right play, because at the end of the day, the Raiders didn't turn the ball over, and they're getting free throws out of it.
2 for 2 at a time when the Raiders needed it most. Up by 4 with a minute to go, 48-44.
Straight up defense.
Flynn taking it all the way down, spinning around Gaffney. Each team with 5 fouls now. Flynn finds Novak. Now to Lang, wide open. Leaves that one short off the front of the iron.
Don't force it. Get it to your guard. And don't force anything. There you go. Go to the free throw line. There you go.
I just want to talk about the presence of mind there for Vitaly Collins. He got the rebound. He immediately kind of just took a quick snapshot of where he was on the floor and had the awareness to find Joe Gaffney. Even though Collins just made 2 in a row at the line, he got it over to Gaffney, who makes the first and is more adept at handling the pressure and is better at anticipating when the foul is going to come and making sure he's strong with the ball.
They always talk about the cream rising to the top, and Gaffney's got 8 points this period.
It'll be an even-keeled 2-possession game, 6-point lead. The Raiders have 50-44. Flynn working his way around the arc.
He tried
one fly from deep. That one falls away into the hands of Pearl.
He tried to get the illegal screen. Didn't work, but you'll get Pearl with a rebound and a foul, shooting some more. Novak, I think, started this period with no fouls. He now has 4. Obviously needing to foul.
Yeah, he had to foul just to give the Rams an ability to extend the game. And so far, we talked about the free throw disparity in the last game. Right now, Raiders 4 for 4 in the last 30 seconds here. Five for 5.
They're shooting lights out. Boy, this is the best clip of free throw shooting we've seen from the Raiders in a long time.
They hadn't shot any free throws since the first period until this period. So.
That one falls off the heel. 26 seconds to go. Flynn charging down court. Back over to Lang for 3. That one is off the mark as well. Collins picks up the rebound. That'll be another foul, sending him back to the charity stripe one more time.
I think that was an anticipation foul, too.
I got to say this, though.
That's 4 on Flynn.
With that little play right there. Go watch the 2016 National Championship game of college basketball. That's the exact play that Villanova ran to beat North Carolina on that game, hit by Jenkins. And that's what Harbor Springs just did there for that wide open shot.
Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Strail is the only one in this entire building that would remember that.
You watch enough basketball games, you see plays happen and just a little kickback.
Oh, I cried that night. I'm a Carolina fan.
Then you recognize the play, too.
Yes, sir.
1 for 2 there for Collins, but it doesn't matter.
I also remember the revenge.
And he got it back and scored.
I also remember the revenge title the next year, too.
Okay, yeah.
10-point lead. Charlevoix has 7 seconds to go. Flynn with one last hope and prayer there. Collins gets the rebound. Krause there finishing off the game for the Raiders. Come away with the upset victory here at home. A 10-point masterpiece put up by the Raiders and Coach Troshak, 54-44 as they come away with it here.
Yeah, in the third period, I talked about them being all out of sorts. In the fourth period, you had them kind of come back together and get back to business. You had 1, 2, 3, 4. You had 5 different players for Charlevoix score that period, where you only had a total of 7 points the whole third period.
Wow.
So in basketball, there are 5 statistical and subjective categories that will win you games. And those 5 are free throw shooting, defensive transition, shot selection, rebounding, and then fouling. And of those 5 important categories, the Raiders outplayed the Rams in 4 of those 5. I mean, I don't know what the official rebounding statistics were, but the Raiders won this game tonight because of their attention to detail on blockouts and getting those rebounds. In the first half, their rebounding was the key to them not having to face this Harbor Springs pressure defense, which allowed their offense to get in rhythm, in my estimation. Eric, I'm interested to hear what your take on this was as well.
With Charlevoix, I think it was kind of like reminded me of the first game we saw with them, and just it was Charlevoix's night tonight. But again, just the growth of this Raider team throughout the season, and knowing that you can get offense or a good game from anybody and it not affect the team in any way. You can have somebody have an off night and somebody else pick up the pace for the team. You know, you had, again, Gaffney hadn't scored and since the first period. He ends up having 8 in the fourth, where you had Jackson Krause score 8 in the second and not score again until the fourth period. So, again, it's not like, and we talked about Harbor focusing on Gaffney, and then all of a sudden they were leaving other people open. That's what's great about this Raider team, is that so many people or so many players can hurt you on any given night, which bodes well for the remainder of the season and going into tournament time too, when you've got teams that you've never faced that are already probably scouting you, wondering, okay, who are we going to stop and how are we going to slow this team down?
Well, gentlemen, if we don't have anything else to say, I think that'll take care of it here, and we'll wrap things up. Charles, look like you have one more point you want to make.
Yeah, I just want to say this is a really big win for Charlevoix tonight. 3 of their next 5 will be on the road. They'll be home here against Kalkaska and Boyne City. Those are back-to-back games, but at Grayling, at Kingsley next week, home versus Kalkaska, Boyne the following week, and then at East Jordan on February 10th. So they'll have to take care of business and be some road warriors right now.
Yeah, and it was just Charlevoix's night tonight. I mean, you really can't say too much about Harbor. I mean, they could have easily won this game tonight as well. I think Charlevoix just did enough of the right things and did enough things better than what Harbor Springs did tonight.
I think the key point in time of the game came the last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter and the last 2 minutes of the second quarter, when Braden Flynn picked up that third foul. The Raiders extended that lead. They got really good second quarter production from Jackson Krause and Carter Greenacre, 15 points in the period, and I think that's what gave the Raiders enough juice to be able to go into halftime, and then they knew they were going to have to take a punch from Harbor Springs, which they did. The Rams came out firing from deep. Lang woke up, Flynn woke up, and looking ahead at the schedule for Harbor Springs, they've got 3 of their next 5 at home. Home versus Boyne, at Elk Rapids, and that Elk Rapids and Harbor Springs game is certainly going to be a dandy. We'll see if we can get down there for that one, because if Elk Rapids defends home court, there will be a 3-way tie for first place in the conference, as Harbor Springs narrowly beat Elk Rapids earlier this year by 2 points. So a lot of interested teams, fans, and players will be tuning into that game next week on January 30th.
Yeah, I mean, the top of this league is just beating each other up. You just hope nothing happens, as all of these teams could have nice runs come tournament time too. So you just hope nothing happens as they are playing hard games against each other. But really love watching this game tonight.
All right. So for the 3 of us here at Next Level Broadcasting, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you all for tuning in here to what was a very, very fun evening here between these 2 top-of-the-conference heavyweights. We can't wait to bring you more action as the season continues on. But until then, for Eric Huffman, Charles Trail, myself, Shane Smith, all of you have a wonderful rest of your evening. We want to thank our sponsors one last time: Cherry Capital Airport, Charlevoix State Bank, Bingham Insurance, the Lake House, Martin Concrete, as well as Charlevoix Auto. So for all of us here, once again, have a great rest of your evening. Have a safe and happy weekend. We'll see you again soon. Good night.